Around the world at myjoyonline.com and across Ghana's 16 regions on the Joy News channel, also on DSTV channel 421. A very welcome to the AM show right here on your home of independent, fearless, incredible journalism. I'm Sweetie Aboagye, and it's just 4 more days to go for the 2024 presidential and parliamentary elections. And you want to trust us because we are your election headquarters and we will keep you updated. Now, this morning, of course, we start with the AM news, bring you the latest updates on all the stories in and around the country, especially with regards to the voting that happened yesterday. That is a special voting. After that, Kojo Poku, energy analyst, and Wisdom Dogbe, financial analyst, will be joining us to review the newspapers. And of course, Muftan Abel Abdullahi will bring you AM Sports. After that, we'll pivot to our big stories. Now, it was a generally peaceful special voting exercise yesterday, but not without accusations of vote buying, late arrival of electoral materials, taking photos of ballot papers, police arrests, missing names, and so many issues that came out yesterday. We want to hear from you this morning, as well as our political parties and interest groups, on what you make of the special voting exercise and whether you're convinced that the Electoral Commission is fully ready to execute its mandate of a free, fair and transparent elections come Saturday. Join us because today is about you with your comments and your thoughts and views on all our social media platforms. We are Joy News on TV. Have your say with us this morning. But let's start with the AM news and then we'll get into our conversations. Please stay. This is the AM news. Details now. Investigators from the Office of the Special Prosecutor have begun questioning journalists and other persons who witnessed Member of Parliament for Ayawaso West Wuogon, Lydia Hassan, sharing packs of food to voters who had lined up to vote. A generally calm environment at the Legon police station during the special voting degenerated when the MP and some other persons were seen handing over food in bags to persons who had queued to vote. Kokwa Sante of our political desk reports.
So West Wuogon constituency remained one of the key battlegrounds in the Greater Accra region. The NPP had more than 10,000 votes gap in 2016. That was whittled down to a little over 2,000. And that is why both John Dumelo and Lydia Sarah Malhassan, the parliamentary candidates for both the NPP and NDC, have been heavily on these grounds this morning, up until now, with the process just about concluding. In fact, just a little over 950 persons are registered as special voters in the Ayawaso West Wuogon constituency. And right from morning up until when polls closed, it was largely peaceful and uneventful until midday today, when the Member of Parliament was in the queue sharing some packs to some persons who were lining up to go and vote. And that is when things started degenerating, with John Dumelo really furious and describing the conduct of the Member of Parliament as simply unacceptable.
Why are you sharing food to people in the queue? Why are you doing that? Why we can't share? We can share. If they want me to share, I also share the same. But let's respect the rules of the Electoral Commission. Don't share anything to the people in the queue who have not voted yet. And you are sharing food and we don't even know what is in the thing, and you are sharing it to the people who have not voted yet. What kind of stupidity is this? Why they think we can't do it? We can do the same and even worse. They shouldn't even try us.
I wasn't here. I don't know if you saw me here. I've been here since I came here before 6 a.m. and I left here a few minutes ago. I don't even know what you're talking about. I am yet to find out from them what happened.
John Dumelo, the NDC parliamentary candidate who's been leading the campaign for the party in this constituency, is really confident that given the work he has done, he can snatch what is considered a safe seat for the New Patriotic Party and turn it into an NDC seat.
I meet people, I mean this is even off campus, but I meet people who confess to me that they come to me and said, look, John, 2020, I didn't vote for you. But 2024, I'm voting for you because I want change. 2024, I'm voting for you because I've seen how consistent you've been after you lost in Ayawaso West Wuogon. And that's the kind of leadership we need. I'm not going around sharing rice and oil and money to people to vote for me. I mean, I don't do that kind of things. What I do is I give you hope. I let you know that when I become member of parliament, things will change.
But the member of parliament, Lydia Sarah Malasan, believes that the work the NPP have done in the constituency in terms of education, infrastructure, and others will simply hand them this seat.
Except they are happy with the halls that have been renovated for them, the reading rooms that we have supported them, the water that have been provided to them across the across campus, and they have assured me that Saturday they will do the needful. They are thanking us.
The University of Ghana campus remains one of the key battlegrounds. In 2020, while the election was going on, students were not on campus. But this time around, students will be on campus. Friday is a holiday. And that is why the political parties are lining up a series of campaign activities on campus to win more votes. Reporting for Joy News, Kweku Asante, Ayawaso West Wuogon.
More than 200 individuals representing 20% of registered voters failed to participate in Monday's special voters exercise at Adentan constituency. Despite this, the NDC, NPP and the CPP candidates are in high spirits. They will emerge victorious after the December 7th elections. My colleague Michael Ashali has a wrap of Monday's exercise.
The special voting exercise at the Adentan constituency was peaceful and uneventful. Around 1,200 individuals were expected to exercise their franchise. A little over 77% managed to turn up. Gerald Roberts is the returning officer for the Electoral Commission.
At the end of the poll, we had 937 people turning up. When you look at the number that turned out in percentage terms, we have about 77.95%. Last 4 years, we had about 75%. So I think this is a slight improvement over last year's.
2 individuals were facially recognized after the biometric devices failed to recognize their fingerprints. 1 police officer, again a military officer, were unable to exercise their franchise because their names were not on the register.
The annoying aspect is that the presiding member is telling me that you should have come to confirm. I never heard from the media that after requesting for special vote, you have to come back and confirm.
NPP parliamentary candidate Akosia Meno is hopeful of unseating the NDC MP who currently represents the constituency.
But I believe that they have seen what I've done in the last 2.5 years, even before I became the parliamentary candidate for the constituency. And I know that there are some who can't wait to vote December 7th.
She also accused the NDC of attacking her driver allegedly on Sunday night.
Last night in the constituency, he was accosted by NDC assailants. They hit his head, injured him. He's received stitches. We've reported to the police. We sent a medical report as well.
The NDC has denied these allegations. Member of Parliament for the NDC for the area, Adamu Ramadan, is hopeful of being the first person to be retained here as a member of Parliament.
I don't believe that anybody has attacked anybody. Any NDC person has attacked her driver. She should go back and find out what it is that maybe the driver has done. This year, I'm very confident that we're breaking that one-term cycle.
CPP candidate Alhaji Alhassan Razak is hopeful of breaking the NPP-NDC duopoly.
I contest 2016. Then Adentan people say, no, you are not ready. 2022, I contest for CPP parliament, they say no. But this 2024, they say, no, this one there is too much. Alhaji, we must give it to you.
With a few days to the December polls, it remains to be seen whether the residents of Adentan constituency will retain the NDC incumbent or continue the one-term incumbency. For Joy News, Michael Ashale.
Now let me take you to the Upper West region, where our correspondent Rafiq Salam reports that despite the peaceful nature of the polls, the NDC raised concerns over the number of persons verified by the biometric verification device. He'll tell us more in this report.
Out of 67 persons who filed their names to take part in the special voting in the one municipality of the Upper West region, 827 of them were able to exercise their franchise in the 2 polling centers at the Ayawaso Court. At the close of polls, the electoral materials were packed, sealed, and moved to the armory at the Wa police station. Returning officer for the Wa Central constituency, Dr. Joseph Wolifan, who doubles as the presiding officer for Wa Court A polling station, noted that the high percentage turnout at the election was encouraging, as nothing untoward took place during the voting process.
So at the end of the polls, we recorded 410 people who turned up. And then out of the 410, we only had 2 manual verification. And then the percentage, when we were trying to calculate between the 2, we have about 85% turnout. That is 85.42. And I think it's very encouraging.
Both the NDC and the NPP party agents agreed Hukula and Senka with the presiding officer. The NDC, however, has some concern regarding the number of persons verified by the biometric machine device.
With the number of ballots issued, we had 411. That's ballot papers issued to voters. Then verification, machine verified 410, meaning there is one difference. One paper issued that is not accounted for. And we have raised it. The EC officials assured us that on the 7th of December, by the close of polls, when we start doing the collation, the box will be opened for auditing. And so I think we are okay with that. We understand the process and we'll take it up on that day.
His opposite number in the NPP, however, thinks it is much ado about nothing.
If you look at it very well, there's something we say that de minimis non cura lex. This is trivial, considering the number of people who have come out to vote and considering what they are talking about, that one run short. We are human beings and the machines are not perfect.
Reporting for Joy News, Rafiq Salam. Wow.
Let's come back to the heart of Accra, because some voters were turned away from the 2 Kole centers. James Aboagye was there and reports.
It's exactly 5 p.m. here at the Kole Special Voting Center, and this is Voting Center A. As you can see at the background, electoral officers as well as security persons and party agents are packing the electoral materials. A total of 1,219 voters were expected to cast their vote, and 1,047 out of that have been able to cast their vote. There were some incidents of people being turned away because they could not find their names in the voter list. Personally, I counted about 9 people, 1 journalist as well as security officers. One of them traveled all the way from Nsawam here to cast her vote, but couldn't find her name on the voter list. I'm curious, how much of your vote do you believe is in that ballot box?
Enough to give me the parliamentary win and enough to give Dr. Bawumia the presidential win.
Our agents have been there observing everything, and hopefully we will have a very smooth running of the 7th December election as well, where ultimately these results will be, these ballot papers will be added on the day so we know what the outcome is.
From the Osu police station here in Accra, my name is James Aboagye for Joy News.
Still in Accra, at the Ododo constituency, 436 registered voters out of 530 cast their ballots. Collins reports on that beat and reports.
530 voters were expected to cast their votes at Jamestown polling station in the Ododo constituency. At the end of the polls, 436 were able to vote. The election was largely peaceful in the Odududu constituency. 3 voters wanted to take part in the special voting, but their names were not found. This is according to the district electoral officer, Emmanuel Ochre. He noted their names were not found in the register because they did not register to take part in the special voting. The parliamentary candidates for the Odududu constituency expressed confidence in clinching the parliamentary seat.
This seat doesn't belong to the NDC anymore. I've said it and I'll say it again. Where they themselves, they know they are getting their votes. They know they are not getting votes over.
NDC regional chairman Emmanuel Ashi Moore believed the party is going to win the general elections.
So we are satisfied with the process, and I can assure you that whatever vote cast here, NDC will get, both presidential and parliamentary, will get between 54 and 56%.
Reporting for Joy News, Collins Frimpong, Odududu constituency.
Now, away from our election headquarters, District Chief Executive of Dafiame Buziesa, Nadimoro Sanda, has assured the people of the commitment of the government in bringing healthcare to the doorstep of the people. Speaking at the launch of the network of practice in Kojokperi, he cited several health projects, including the construction of the Agenda 111 project and his upgrading of the Issa Health Center to a status of a polyclinic. Nadimoro Sanda made the statement at the launch of Network of Practice at Kojokperi. Joy News Upper West Regional Correspondent Rafiq Salam reports from Kojokperi.
The Ghana Health Service launched a Network of Practice, NOP, aims to enhance access to quality essential health care in Ghana by 2030. It is to improve coordination and resource sharing among health workers within specific geographical areas, addressing challenges such as referral systems and inadequate provider payment mechanisms. Rooted in the primary healthcare strategy, NOP focuses on comprehensive, patient-centered care for common health conditions. Speaking at this launch at Kojokperi, Dafima Bure is a District Director of Health Services, Genevieve Vierpare, underscored the importance of the NOP in the district, adding that stakeholders have already been sensitized to take ownership of it.
The network of practice did not seek to change the structures of the health system. It is going to leverage on the existing structures and improve on the quality, effectiveness, and efficiency of our services that we provide.
She praised the Kojokperi community for complementing the effort of the government by the construction of the CHIP compound and maternity block.
And in the Kojokperi sub-district level, the Kojokperi community have built a maternity block at the health center and also built a CHIPS compound that we will use as a hub and to provide services. This is a lot of the work that all the communities around the district, with support from stakeholders, is making effort to improve health service delivery in the district.
Genevieve Vierpare also spoke of some challenges they are facing in the district.
Despite all these that have been done at the lower level and at the sub-district level, we still have infrastructure challenges. Some of these blocks or maternity buildings have not been completed and have been there for a long time. We also have our laboratory project at the health center level, which is not completed.
Dafima Bure is a District Chief Executive, Nadimoro Sanda, assured the people of helping to fix the challenges. He however spoke of the commitment of the NPP government in bringing healthcare services to the doorstep of the people.
We took over as a government. This district was not having a single medical doctor. We only had a single health center, that is the Fiama Health Center. The other remaining health centers which were downgraded were Kajipiri Health Center, Fiang Health Center, Isa Health Center, and Buse Health Center. But as we speak, today we have upgraded the then Isa Health Center into a polyclinic. You are all also aware that Agenda 111 is progressing steadily. This is a proof and a testimony that this government is not resting on its oars to make sure that the health of the people of the Fiobuse Isa, and for that matter, the whole Ghana, is taken care of.
Member of Parliament for the Fiama Bure Isa, Dr. Sebastian Sandare, urged the people to work to own the project so that it can achieve the intended purpose.
Starting this project or commissioning it, which is the network of practice, will be strengthened. It's for all of us to own it and to support it so that it will be successful. That will trigger, special health care focus to ensure that our people, especially mothers and children and the entire communities, are healthy.
Reporting for Joy News, Rafik Salam, Kajikweri.
From Kejekberi, let's get into our business update now with Benjamin Akapo.
Welcome to Business. Now, the IMF has passed Ghana on its third program review. It has also approved the disbursement of some $360 million to the country. Here is George Wiafe with more.
Ghana secured the approval after the IMF board met to consider the third program review by the IMF staff this morning in Washington, D.C., USA. The board went ahead to approve the staff report as they were quite satisfied with how Ghana has performed under the fund program, especially when it comes to meeting those key targets for the third review. The board also went ahead to approve the disbursement of some $360 million that should hit Bank of Ghana's account before this Friday. The board was also satisfied about progress made when it comes to the economy and measures being implemented by government to improve revenue. The fund was of the firm belief that the economy is on that path to full recovery. However, there were still some areas the IMF wanted government to pay attention so that the recovery will not be affected going forward. For some, the news could go a long way to signal that government is on track to firmly stabilize the economy and help strengthen the city's recent recovery, as well as deal with the negative sentiments that recently put some pressure on the local currency.
Now, new airlines coming to Ghana boosting the ground handling services business at the airport. This is according to the managing director of Aviance Ghana, Mark Kamis. According to him, the high taxes faced by the sector are not crippling business. He spoke to Joy Business at a press launch of the 30th anniversary of the company.
The ground handling business in Ghana actually is booming now after COVID, and you can see new airlines coming into Accra and also other airlines trying to join. You see the likes of Virgin Atlantic entering the market next year. So for me and Aviance in particular, we're doing extremely well, and I can only see growth coming into Ghana. Wow, so I think as testament to Aviance, we've been here 30 years. And I think for any institution to last 30 years is a milestone. And for me, I base it around the employees and also the management team, how we execute and how we work with airlines. I'm very confident Aviance will survive any price war, any competitive market. And I would imagine Aviance, as the Ghanaian ground handling company, will be here for another 30 years. I think on the tax question, I couldn't give a good answer on the tax, to be honest with you. Look, that's a regulated charge, so if that's what our charges are, that's what we do. Obviously, we're always lobbying for cheaper taxes and better ways to work.
Well, let's settle for our currency update up next. Well, that's it for your business updates this morning. Handing over back to Sweetie Aboagye.
Want to stay with us, and the conversations begin now. Kojo Poku is energy analyst and Wisdom Dugbe is financial analyst. They're joining us to review the newspapers in the news review segment. It's a wrap for the AM News. Please stay with us.
Welcome back. It's the news review, and we have our usual, not culprits, but friends joining the conversation. Sweetie Aboagye and I also doing our bit here. But joining us for the news review, we have Kojo Poku. He's an energy analyst. Wisdom Dugbe is a financial analyst. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Well, I'm okay. I hope you are too.
Oh, we are okay. We are good.
Are you speaking for Wisdom?
We are in the good town of Kumasi, Ashanti region, trying to do the Lord's work.
Okay, all right. When you said we for a moment, I thought you were speaking for Wisdom as well. Wisdom, how about you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing fantastic. It's good to be back home.
All right. Gentlemen.
Oh, welcome back home.
Thank you.
Maybe you can host in the studio one of these days.
I plan to be there, and I'm going to make sure that Kojo comes over there as well.
All right.
Well, look, next week, Tuesday, NPP would have won, and you're more than happy to join me in my white.
Kojo, since you started...
I will also wear white. I'll be there with you, Kojo.
Okay, since you started, Kojo, let's get into your thoughts for us this morning.
Well, good morning to your cherished viewers, and I know this show is becoming very popular because the good self, Kojo Poku, is always on there on Tuesday. Everywhere I traverse in this country, people say, oh, Kojo, join you. We miss you on there. Make sure you are there every morning. I'm like, yeah, I know. The host is not such a good host, is it? So I will be there to make sure I host it. People love me coming to the studio last week, Tuesday. And I think one of these days we'll try and make it a permanent thing. Look, 4 days to election. I think Ghanaians have gotten the message of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and I'm in Kumasi. We finished our tour of the Ashanti region on Sunday. Now, Doctor has done all 276 constituencies, and the only candidate in this election who has done that, visited every constituency. The message has gone down. People are ready to cast their vote. Yesterday, we saw the special voting, which went very well. Minor hitches here and there. I know two regions could not vote, but it's all for proper planning and making sure that everything works well. Ghanaians are ready to continue on the NPP government and give Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia a chance to rule this country into the fourth digital revolution.
Well, thank you. Kojo, I think people know you because you appeared on Joy News. You're a bigger brand than Kojo Poku. But let's listen to Wisdom Dugbe's.
Oh no, I mean, now it appears it's because of Kojo Poku, who is such a brand that people watch Joy News. That is,
don't mind Kojo.
and he also says, I mean, one of these days, one holiday or something, since he's such a good host, we should get him to come into the studio and host the show.
That will be a day.
We'll see how good he is.
Wisdom, let's get into your thoughts for us this morning.
Sudi, I have a good feeling about elections this weekend, and I believe that voices of Ghanaians will be heard loud and clear. We need to reset our nation and get it back on the path to prosperity. Now, to what is actually on my mind this morning, I read this article about, what Joe Meadows said, that most aircrafts that fly to Ghana are not always the best planes in the skies. I think he's absolutely spot on his observation. And I think most people have been complaining about that for some time now, too. When I travel to other countries, I get to fly on nicer aircrafts, right? With awesome business class and also economy services. And then when I fly to Ghana, it's not always the same experience. And sometimes the flight attendants on the Ghana-bound planes, they are also not at their best services either. On my last trip, when I just came, I missed my flight because the connecting flight delayed significantly. And so I had to deplane because there was no way I could catch the Ghana-bound plane from where I was connecting from. only to realize that the Ghana plane itself had delayed for about 3 hours. The next day I made the flight, but still with significant delays than you will see on other routes. So yes, the planes on the Ghana route are indeed not the best, and the services could also improve as well. We pay a lot of money for these tickets,
right?
And it's just fair for the passengers to enjoy the trip. So I hope the passengers will continue to advocate for better standards and services, and maybe the Ghana Aviation Authorities or whosoever is in charge, they can leverage some incentives and also regulatory framework, to push for better services and better aircraft for the Ghana routes.
All right, thank you so much.
Just fly KLM or British Airways. Stop the Delta and those Continental.
All right,
you guys fly.
Please don't campaign against any airline on this channel. Kojo, let's get into our newspapers. I have the Daily Guide newspaper. On the front page, Commonwealth observers OK election security plan. On election 2024, special voting runs smoothly. Nana Akufo-Addo commissions motorway roundabout, and Parliament resumes December 16th, says the Speaker of Parliament. I want to begin from the Commonwealth observers okaying our election security plan. And we also know that the Inspector General of Police is set to address the nation, I think, on election eve. We're looking forward to what that would entail. So the Commonwealth Observer Group mission to Ghana has expressed satisfaction with the country's December election security measures following a detailed briefing by the National Election Security Task Force. And the briefing was led by the Inspector General of Police, Dr. George Ekufu-Dampare, who provided the Observer Group with insights into the security measures in place for the upcoming election. I should also add that this is the Daily Guide newspaper, that the Ghana Police Service put out a statement that military personnel will not be active at the polling stations. They will only be observing at a distance. Unless it is necessary, they will not come in. So, special voting runs smoothly. The special voting exercise for the 2024 general election was conducted peacefully and without significant challenges across 14 regions of the country. And this exercise held to allow security personnel. We all know what special voting is, and it happened yesterday with the exception of Eastern and Western region. What I do not know for sure if it was very smooth, like the Daily Guide newspaper is reporting it to be. We had so many incidents. Even police made some arrests yesterday. People were trying to take pictures of their voting, the ballot papers, food sharing, among others. Okay. Foreign Affairs Ministry introduces chip-embedded passports, and yesterday that happened. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration has announced the introduction of new chip-embedded passports. The new passports, which is an upgrade from the biometric passports, is to enhance efficiency, security, and compliance with international standards. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Shirley Ayoko-Botwe, made the disclosure at a ceremony to launch the enhanced travel document in Accra. Quote, while the current biometric passport has served us steadfastly for over a decade, the demands of a fast-paced technological evolution have necessitated this upgrade. And I saw the president holding the passport yesterday. Congratulations in that bit. And the last thing I want to add, I don't know if you know Mama Pat, Evangelist Patricia Esiama, Nana Agrada. She says she will return to the shrine if Bawumia doesn't win. Gentlemen, these stories for your quick reflection. And let me just add on the back page, Kempong Academy Danish side strike deal, and 50 feared dead in Guinea Stadium stampede, and Sika Krobia wins SC tourney. But let me start with you, Wisdom Dugbe.
Sweetie, I don't know which part of the Bible says that if a political candidate doesn't win an election, you should turn your back on God and go to a shrine. So I don't know. So this kind of message, I don't know what the prophetess or the lady pastor is trying to say about it. I find it very unfortunate. I hope she doesn't go back to the shrine, because next week by this time, I believe that His Excellency, former President Mahama, will be celebrating together with the NDC victory well won. But look, on this special voting, we thank God that the special voting was completed. But I'm not entirely enthused about reports that one candidate in the Ayawaso West Wuogon constituency was seen sharing food to the voters who are yet to cast their ballots, and to some of the security personnel and even the EC officials. And there were also reports that some voters who were voting in a certain way, they were seen taking pictures of the ballot papers against the rules of the EC. So even though the special elections went on pretty well, they say, I think the EC missed a huge opportunity to demonstrate to the Ghanaian public that this election will be free and fair without widespread anomalies. It is totally unacceptable what took place. I worry about these things today because it raises several important issues related to election integrity and fairness of the election process and the potential impact on our democratic process. Could this amount to, violation of electoral laws when food or other incentives are distributed to the voters? Could that be considered a violation of election laws? And
well, there are some investigators from the Office of the Special Prosecutor who were questioning the people. There are 2 contacts for further investigation. So I believe that that's something we can commend. At least they're trying to put people to the book, yeah.
Right. And we not just to say stuff or make public statements to that effect. We want to see some action on this because there's a reason why the laws are there, so that it will ensure fairness. And when a candidate is distributing food to the voters, so doesn't that create a potential for unfair advantage? I suspect that creates an uneven playing field, giving that candidate an unfair advantage over the opponents who obey the rules, right? And that's the reason why, to your point, I like the fact that this has been investigated and hopefully we'll see the right action taken pretty shortly.
All right. Thank you, Wisdom. If there are no other stories you want to reflect on, let me go to Kojo.
Let's stop belittling Ghanaians. Look, the situation yesterday, for me, is much ado about nothing. We should know the caliber of people that were voting yesterday in the special voting. Now, the military and our brothers and sisters in the service and the media were the ones that were voting. In this particular polling station, it was our brothers and sisters in uniform. Now, you have our brothers and sisters in uniform on duty and those that are voting. You go around to give food to those monitoring and the agents. Now, you have people waiting to vote, and somebody hands them bags of food because some of the food left. And all of a sudden, somebody thinks that somebody will change their ballot because somebody handed them food. Let's stop belittling people in this country. Let me
hold on for him, yeah.
Let's stop belittling people in this country. The fact that the NDC is going around sharing rice and akokon kete does not mean people will vote for them. These things that we are going around in Kumasi giving people Pepsodent and soap does not mean people will vote for them. So let's stop belittling people that because somebody was handed food when the person has waited in line for some time and somebody gives them something, it's a malpractice.
Right, so hold on for me, Kojo. So this is PNDC, is it Article 284, and it reads, a person commits the offense of treating if that person, A, corruptly or through another person before, during, or after an election gives or provides or pays wholly or in part the expenses of giving or providing meat, drink, entertainment, or provision to or for any person, 1, for the purpose of corruptly influencing that other person or another person to vote or refrain from voting, or on account of that other person or another person having voted or refrained from voting or being about to vote or refrain from voting. Lastly, or corruptly accepts or takes meat, drink, entertainment, or provision offered in the circumstances and for the purpose of mentioned in this paragraph. And you were saying?
Okay, so that whole thing that you read, underline purpose of influencing. Underline that, purpose of influencing. That whole thing you read, what you need to underline is purpose of influencing. What you need to establish, my dear, you read it, let me speak. What you need to establish is that handing over of the food to the security personnel in queue is a purpose of influence. You need to establish that. So let me go on and let's move on from this, because I know that...
No, Kojo, we are not moving on from this. Hold for me. I was just waiting patiently.
If we stay on it,
Kojo, it's a dialogue. I keep telling you, when you get on this show, you want to talk as though you were the only one with some
but
thinking.
my point is that I have
so shush, and let someone else also say something. Shush and let someone else also say something. Now, Kojo, you've spewed a number of untruths on this show. Each time I try to correct you. Some time back, you started talking about chiefs engaging in partisan politics. I corrected you per the law. Today, you are spewing. You are spewing more. Would you allow me to speak?
You can't correct that because there's
Would you allow me to speak, Kojo? Would you?
But don't
when you were speaking,
you did not correct me because
when you were speaking. Okay, are you done?
Yes, I'm done.
Okay. When you were speaking, I didn't interject for good reason. So show me that saying.
Because I've not finished my submission.
Now. She's just cited PNDC Law 284. You are now saying that, oh, it is when you can confirm that. I don't know what your thinking is, but these are very unfortunate. Per our electoral laws, people should not be seen distributing anything. It is even more egregious when you have service personnel, and in that instance, both those who gave and those who took have a problem with the law, which is why the OSP has waded into the matter. It is even worse when you have the member of parliament participating in the distribution. And you want to come on such a big platform and spew that unless we establish that what? She spoke on radio and said she hadn't been involved, but we have videos of her. This is unbecoming, whether it is NDC or NPP. In some other areas in the Greater Accra region, both parties were doing it. What is wrong? Let us say it's wrong. And stop acting like when it's our side, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm done.
Are you done? Okay. What you see in all these laws that everybody wants to spew and read on a big platform, as you put it, right? You need to establish motive. That is why I said the motive in that law you read is that you need to now establish purpose of influence. You can't just charge a crime without establishing motive. And you're a lawyer and you should know that.
I'm not a lawyer,
that's the
but
point I'm trying to put across. No, hold on. An act on its own, is not a crime unless there's a motive. You know that. We all know that. So let's not be putting these things out there to confuse people. You go to court to prosecute, you need to establish that there was purpose to influence. That's the law.
What you don't know is that there are wisdom. Give me a sec.
Since we are done with that. Look,
no, we are not done with it. We're not done with it. We are the hosts here. We determine when it's done.
Okay, so go on then.
What you are not aware of is that there are some instances where you don't even need a motive for something to be a crime. So I just wanted to make that point. And point of correction, I'm not a lawyer, at least not yet. Go ahead, Wisdom, with whatever you want to say.
I know you are in a process of trying to be. Now, the good news tomorrow, and if my brother Stanley Standogwe would have waited 2 days and come to Ghana, with his Ghana card, he will have gone through the e-gates at the airport being launched tomorrow. It's a good thing that we are doing the chip in the passport, because with a chip in passport, it will work like the Ghana card. You can put it on the e-gate for the arriving Ghanaians into Kotoka. You do not need to go through immigration. So Ghana is again taking a step in the right direction to follow the likes of the United States and the United Kingdom in having chips in their passport. And I think it's a good thing. One of the things that you read is that the commissioner, Nanado, is commissioning a few projects, and I think that the commissioner-in-chief is at his work, doing the best that he can. Ghanaians have always said, oh, point to one thing Nanado has done. Now that he's now commissioning, people have a problem with him commissioning. But it's all good.
Wisdom, did you want to say something quickly? I think you wanted to chip in something.
Yeah, and I was just surprised about the point Kojo was making about the law. The law is black and white, right? So if it doesn't favor you, it doesn't mean that you should be on TV to try and spew it in your own way to try to get people to interpret the law the way you want to interpret it. That's not how it works. The law is the law. You should not be seen distributing food to or anything else when people are in line to vote. It amounts to election interference. You are trying to unduly influence people. And there's a reason why the laws are there. One person respects the law, the other person doesn't respect the law. I think the security agencies or the authorities need to take the right action pretty quickly to send a clear message. And this goes to both the NDC and the NPP, right? It's not just about this honorable MP doing it. There needs to be a clear response to deter other MPs or other aspiring leaders from going the same route. Now, this is what I also want to mention quickly about the biometric passport. It's a good initiative, right? I do like that, but I also think that we need to take steps to ensure that data security becomes a great item, an important item. If we don't do that and we go this route with this chip-embedded passports, there is a very clear possibility that if there is no checks put in place, what if the government starts to survey people unfairly? You know, I think there should be more. They should do more to make sure that some of these processes are put in place before they roll this thing out. Could you?
All right.
Unless you know something you want to share with me, but I have no idea what has already been rolled out from a data security perspective to protect private data.
All right. Are you done with that paper? All right. The Daily Graphic newspaper, Road to Jubilee House. Who wins Greater Accra? There's an interesting story there. The NDC has won it 5 times, the NPP 3 times, but there was an anomaly in 2020 when the NDC won but did not win the general election. There's also Education Minister launches channel MOE TV. Special voting ends smoothly. IDEC boss advocates effective transition management. On the back page, Phase 2 of the motorway interchange inaugurated, and Ghana Water Company boosts supply capacity in Accra. All those stories in the Daily Graphic newspaper. And even as I talk about, you know, the interchanges, I have to go back and still, you know, reflect on what Gabi Otredako said just some years back, sometime in 2016, mentioning that, oh, the election is about unemployment, corruption, and everything in between, and not, it was about change and not interchange. But well, here we are today, and I see some of his posts and I smile. But let me get into that first story. When I find the exact quote, I will read it for all of you watching us this morning. Who wins Greater Accra? Road to the Jubilee House. The Greater Accra region has been a swing region in the last 8 elections, making it a must-watch in the December 7 general election. The national capital, Accra, is considered a key battleground because statistically, none of the parties has successfully dominated election outcomes in the region. Until 2020, any party that won in the region emerged as the winner of the national elections. The New Patriotic Party won 3 out of the 8 elections in this region, 2000, 2004, and 2016, and eventually emerged winner of the national elections on each occasion. Similarly, the NDC won Greater Accra 5 times in 1992, 1996, 2008, 2012, and 2020. The issue being that when NDC's John Mahama won the region in 2020, it was not enough to propel him to the Jubilee House. In the 2020 elections, John Mahama flipped the region to green with about 1.33 million votes, representing 51.04%, to beat the incumbent President Nana Adentan of the NPP, who polled over 1.25 million, or 48.10%. So that's that first story there. I'm enthused about this one on the back page. I don't want to forget, so I'm going there quickly. The Ghana Water Company Limited has installed new pumps at the intake of the Waja treatment plant in Accra to improve water supply. The project, which cost some 6.2 million euros, was funded through the company's internally generated funds and would increase the pumping capacity from 120,000 cubic meters to 145,000 cubic meters. This translates to an additional 25,000 cubic meters of water supply per day. In addition, the company has built a new control room, office, and washrooms for staff to provide them with a conducive working environment. So good stuff there. Let me go to page 13 very quickly. And there we have it. IDEC boss advocates effective transition management. The executive director of the Institute of Democratic Governance, Dr. Emmanuel Akwete, has stressed the importance of managing the often overlooked transitions in the country's democratic process, especially transition from one government to another after a government has served 2 terms. He stated that if the transfer of power was effectively managed, it would benefit the country's democratic credentials, ensuring stability and maintaining continuity. Then there's Guinea Stadium crush kills 56 people. Chad's Debbie says military pact with France outdated. I'll just take headlines as I come to you for your thoughts. And then last-minute commissioning of projects, a scam. That's according to Mahama. Signing LGBTQ bill will be my priority when elected. That's according to Baumia. And 2024 December polls, Professor Entry Danso calls for consolidation of democracy. I'm talking about Vladimir Entry Danso. I'll start with you, Kojopoku. What are your thoughts on these stories?
Well, thank you. You know, this whole issue of people making it look like after 2 terms and this, look, what is important in an election is the message of the candidate. We are trying to make election about what the existing president has done. It's got nothing to do with it, according to my views anyway. All this recital of what Gabi have said, all this recital of what happened in the past means nothing. Ghanaians have heard Dr. Mahmoud Baumia. Nanado is not on this ballot. It's Dr. Mahmoud Baumia and former President Mahama. Ghanaians know the credentials. Ghanaians know the policies of these two candidates, and they will vote in the right direction on Saturday. When Nanado is doing what he's doing because he's coming to the end of his term. Now, all that he has done and all the blasting he has received, that he has not done the single thing, all the money he has borrowed, this. Today, he is showing Ghanaians, he is basically telling Ghanaians that the 8 years mandate you gave me, these are the things I have done for you. And people have a problem with it. People are calling it a scam. How is, a junior high school STEM in Gabi, when you go to these schools, I don't even know the word to use, but these STEM schools and these schools that the education ministry has built is far better than a lot of private schools in this country, right? How is that a scam? When somebody goes around and outdoor hospitals, well-equipped hospitals in areas that have never gotten hospitals, he is outdooring them and accounting to Ghanaians the 8th term of his mandate, which is coming to an end on the 6th of January 2025. How is that a scam? So look, this election for me, like I've keep saying on this platform, is that share odachi de tuabapa. Odachi means your future, right? Which of the two candidates, former President Mahama and Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, will now take you and your family to the next 4th industrial revolution? Who will make sure that your children comes into the Ghana, that your children can survive and prosper? It's not about what is happening today. Today, we've seen clearly who has done more projects. We've seen clearly who's done more roads. We see clearly who's built more courthouses. We've seen clearly who's performed in every sector of this economy. And it's this NPP government. Everybody can spew all the things they want to spew, but the good people of Ghana have seen, and we've all seen what Nanado has done. So what I want to say is that let's stop making this election about Nanado. Nanado is not on the ballot. Dr. Mahmoud Baumia is the one on the ballot. And instead of looking back on things that people have said, let's be forward-looking and look and vote in the right direction. My next point will be on the water.
Please make it brief. You've spoken quite a lot. Please make that point brief.
It's good news for Accra for the boost in water supply. I think for a cosmopolitan state like Accra, parts where it's quite urban, doesn't have water, we get water twice a week and 3 times a week. It's not the best. So with the improvement in the water supply, I think everybody will welcome that news. Thank you very much.
Wisdom. So in 2016, and thankfully, Gabi didn't mention anybody's name there. He said, don't let the ruling party divert your attention. This election is about worsening unemployment, economic hardship, corrupt and incompetent leadership. We are voting for change and not for an interchange. That is what he said. I think past and present words can be beautiful when they catch up with you. And it's also, I like how, the mantra has changed from Shewa Sitnem Nato Abapa to Shewa Dachi Nato Abapa. Wisdom Dogbe, reflections on these stories.
Ben, with the current state of the economy, I think that most people may want the country to change course, right? And so I think former President Mahama will do quite well. And I believe he will carry Greater Accra region again comfortably. Usually for a swing region like Greater Accra, right, you need targeted strategies to secure the necessary votes. And the former president and his team, they have a good ground game. You know, I believe they understand the demographics. They have top folks crunching the data and understanding the makeup of the electorate there and tailoring the good news of the coming redemption. This is going to be a redemption for the nation. I mean, the messages and also the cutting-edge policies of the former president, which will reset the economy and set the nation up for success again. And as I said, the former president and his team, they have a solid ground game in terms of leveraging local offices. And I heard about some impactful door-to-door outreach, which is a robust, canvassing strategy to get the volunteers to knock on doors and have personal conversations with residents in the region. This will pay a huge dividend for the NDC on election day. I believe that strongly. You know, Accra is becoming a melting pot where we have folks from several different backgrounds and ethnicities, okay? And I think the former president and his team, they have a better strategy to sell his vision to the people. They are running a data-driven campaign and leveraging community players and focusing on the key issues, the economy that impacts the everyday Ghanaian. So with a good voter turnout in the region, I believe John Dramani Mahama and the NDC will prevail in the region. Now, on the importance of the effective transition management, I think it's really an important call from the boss of Institute of Democratic Governance, calling for that effective transition management. I think Ghana has over the years suffered quite significantly from the lack of properly choreographed transition between governments. And I think it just helps with continuity of governance, Ben, including smooth policy implementation. I believe that an effective transition that ensures that ongoing policies, programs, and projects that are good for the nation. Notice that what I said, that are good for the nation, those continue without interruption, which would allow for a seamless, handover of responsibilities and minimize disruptions. I suspect that many good projects in this country are abandoned in between governments because of ineffective and efficient transition management. Ben.
Right. Thank you for your thoughts. Sweetie Aboagye, as you come in, one other thing that really got me worried in terms of our elections, and we've spoken about the food bits. The law is what it is. We can't pick and choose what is right or wrong. What is wrong is wrong. But I also saw some very disturbing bits yesterday because some prominent people posted, images of people's votes yesterday. So the ballot, and that don't mention names.
But I saw it, and later it was deleted.
There's a reason I'm telling you. But yes, later the post was deleted. Yeah. But I found it. I think the very foundations on which we've built our democracy, the very things we are not supposed to do, somehow people who should know better think it's okay to do them. I mean, if you have some foot soldier do it, it is wrong. When you have a certain caliber of people do it, you ask yourself, what is going on? And I think an electoral official was pointing to the fact that, listen, if you do that and you think you can't be traced, it's a lie. Because there's the serial number, and thankfully, with the images we have, the serial numbers were there, and in fact, it can be traced down to where you voted, down to which ballot box it was in, and down to your fingerprint. And through your fingerprint, it can be identified. So I'm just making the point out there. Don't let any party, whether NDC, NPP, or any party, don't let them trick you. You could get arrested, and if you get arrested, they will not come and help you. Don't go into that area. You remember there was someone who was taken because he was caught trying to do that. Don't go there with a camera trying to film. It is against the law. If you get caught, don't say you didn't know. Sweetie.
Well, Benjamin, which is why I believe we should name and shame people. If we are talking about Lydia Serema Al-Hassan seen in videos sharing food, I saw a post from Dennis Miracles Aboagye. It was captioned heat or energy or something like of the sort. Later, the post was deleted. He had posted somebody who had voted on a ballot paper. Anyway, let's get into the Accra Times.
You and Ben are surprised about this. We have a clearing agent in power.
Okay,
they believe if they break the law, they'll be cleared. So
well, Wisdom, I'll come back to you in a second.
That's why
yeah.
we need to vote.
Well, Wisdom,
Right.
it's not up to the president to take charge of that. It's up to the security services.
Let me do this. The Accra Times newspaper says, NDC be calm, we are there for Ghanaians, says military couples assuring Ghanaians. Nana Kwame Bediako presents blueprint to tackle Galamsey menace. This is not the NPP I love. Professor Frimpong Boateng warns against voting for Baomi. I remember that interview with Elton John Robe on the Joy News channel. Let me start from there, actually. And that story is on page 3 of the Accra Times. And Professor Frimpong Boateng, a prominent politician and staunch member of the New Patriotic Party, has urged voters not to support Dr. Mamudu Bawumia in the 2024 election. I'm not sure if that is exactly what he said, but let me read out a quote here for you. The NPP I knew was a party that upheld the rule of law, good governance, and separation of powers. It was a party that believed it belonged to the people, not a select few. This is not the NPP I love, unquote. I'll leave it there for you, gentlemen, when I come to you in a bit. Let me combine, for the sake of time, let me combine the Daily Searchlight. There's a story here that, it's interesting. It says, money swine. Akufo-Addo shares 27.5 million Ghana cedis to NPP regional constituency executives. And I was reading the story to understand where they're getting their facts from. But it says, in last-ditch efforts to ensure that Vice President Mamudu Bawumia is elected as President of Ghana, President Akufo-Addo and top-notch members of the party are meeting constituency and regional executives from across the country. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Daily Searchlight sources in the New Patriotic Party reveal that the 10 of Greater Accra, that's the Greater Accra region, was yesterday, where each constituency received a reported 100,000 Ghana cedis allowance to go out and campaign for Dr. Mamudu Bawumia's campaign. And the currency was in spanking, and you mean sparkling, new 200 cedi notes. So that's where they're getting their information from. Gentlemen, I'll leave this here, but I want to read some headlines before I come to you. Jubilee Oilfield output drops to 89,000 due to government indebtedness, and CD rebound observed recently should continue with the dissipation of election-related uncertainties. Just these stories in the Accra Times and the Daily Searchlight for reflection. I'll start with you, Kojo Poku. What do you make of these?
We have a former president on stage talking about, oh, regional executives, you are going to do well. We will send you something small for Dokono in Chinam. That one day, the paper didn't capture it. You think election on that D-Day, there are going to be mobilization of agents. Every agent, all the over 40,000 polling stations have 2 agents that are working the whole day. And you don't think they will be fed? You don't think that they will be given allowance? And you think that money going to constituencies is a problem? When we have a certain former president standing and saying that, oh, regional executives will look out for the Dokono and in China money that is coming to you. We have that on video also. So let's stop this thing. When Ms. Aboagye talks about everybody name and shame, I thought that when he was going to say 2 on this side, he'll have said 2 on the other side, because my brother Ben said that everybody's doing it because both parties are guilty. Let's equalize. If you just mention Serum and you just mention Miracle, where is the other side that you also say that they are also doing same?
You do understand, though, that I'm sticking to the stories that and talking about things that I saw with my eyes. I know you are sticking to
the story, and you know which and you know which newspaper to read it from.
All right, let's go on. Let's go on, Kojo.
The point when Ben keeps going on about when the president, the sitting president at the time, was on the ballot. You see, people keep comparing apples and oranges. In 2016, we had a president who was president on the ballot trying to come back. Today, the sitting president is not on the ballot. So the 2016 is not the same as 2024 because the sitting president is not on the ballot. So I think that we should be able to now look at these things and move on from there. Okay. The other story that I want to talk about is the issue of when Ben talks about the camera. During the NPP presidential, we banned people from taking cameras into the booth. The security agencies were given a scan and they scan everybody before you go into the booth. So you can't have anything that you can use to record. I honestly think that with what has happened in the special voting, the security agencies, IGP Dan Parry should look at it, where we should basically stop everybody from going into the booth with, with their cameras, with their phones at least. So you put your phone out before you go into the booth to vote. It will stop most of these things that we are seeing.
Okay, thank you. Wisdom, your take now.
Kojo didn't address this, so let me mention it quickly. There is a reason why. What's the name of the professor that you mentioned, Professor?
Frimpong Boateng.
Look, this is a prominent member of the NPP, and he's warning Ghanaians. He knows what those at home did not know, that this NPP government or party has become a party for just the elite, the few. It's not a party for the ordinary Ghanaian. So folks need to really wake up from any slumber at all that Bawumia would do something different from what Akufo-Addo has done. It's just not going to happen. I think Ghanaians should really learn the lesson. If they like the last 8 years, right, as far as the impact on their pocketbooks is concerned, then they should vote for Dr. Bawumia. But if they want to see a change, to have equal opportunity, it's not just to survive, to have equal opportunity in the nation, then they have to give the former president, John Mahama, a chance. And here's the thing, regardless of how much money...
For the sake of time, Wisdom, you have to be brief. Please go ahead.
Quickly, Kojo had a lot of time, so let me take 1 minute to say this. Regardless of how much money they keep sharing, I think the former president will win because Ghanaians remember his performance and they are able to compare that with the performance of this current administration, especially when it comes to the economy. I mean, the cost of living, the cost of doing business, and the economic opportunities for the citizens. And Ghanaians also remember the level of corruption when His Excellency, former President Mahama was president, and the level of corruption today. The good people of this country also remember the level of judicial independence under Mahama versus the state of our judiciary today. When the exchange rate was $1 to 2 cities or 3 cities, this administration, they campaign on this and promise to deliver a strong city.
We have to move on. We have to move on.
I can go on and go on and go on, but I know we don't have time.
All right.
But I want the Ghanaian people to look at these metrics. There's nothing like Shawadachi. Look at your...
All right, Wisdom Dogbe, thank you. We have just about 2 minutes to go.
So the Daily Graphic newspaper, there's a quote there I wanted to bring forward by George Carling. It says, if you don't vote, you lose the right to complain. If you don't vote, you lose the right to complain. And that's why I was very happy yesterday with the voter turnouts in most of these places, over 80% by and large in many places. That is good. And we have to know that, well, whether our current or our future, it's on the line. The Economy Times, banks NPL deteriorate. Data from the Bank of Ghana indicates that commercial banks' credit risk remained elevated, with a non-performing loans ratio rising to 22.7% from 18.3% at the end of October 2024. Notwithstanding an elevated non-performing loans profile, the banking sector remains sound, well-capitalized and liquid. But the performance of the commercial banks will be contingent on a rebound in profits, continuous adherence to recapitalization plans, and enforcement of strict credit underwriting standards. The banking sector continued to record improvements in performance, with total assets growing by 42.4% to 367.2 billion Ghana cedis at the end of October 2024, compared to 3.2% at end October 2023. Then, interest rate to remain stable. Interest rates in the country are expected to remain unchanged in the wake of the Monetary Policy Committee decision to hold the policy rate at 27% for the next couple of months. Which reminds me, looking at the picture of Dr. Ernest Addison, governor of the Bank of Ghana, what I believe it's, I don't know whether it's Dr. Etia who recently said that the appreciation of the CD is artificially being manipulated by the Bank of Ghana, his opinion. But anyway, those are my final thoughts. Gentlemen, you have 30 seconds each. I'm going to enforce this strictly. I'll start with you, Wisdom.
Yeah, but this issue of bad debt or loan loss is a challenge for the financial services sector, right? In fact, I recently had a meeting with some government officials, and one of the topics I raised was addressing the liquidity constriction in the sector. So bad debt or loan loss, that further worsens the liquidity challenges of the banks. And I think there should be a strengthening or enforcement of a loan loss prevention policy by the central bank or Bank of Ghana in collaboration with the sector players, that is the banks.
Right. Thank you very much, Kojo.
Well, Mr. Honorable Frimpong Boateng was a minister. And I don't know the NPP that he claims he loved. If he loved the NPP so much, he should have performed better as a minister. That's where I will end that one. Look, the issue of...
You have 30 seconds, Kojo. I'm enforcing that. Go ahead.
That's fine. Non-performing loans. I think that, look, central bank demands that you secure loans with 120% security. With all that in place, loans are still not performing. I think the central bank should change the ways they basically put so much emphasis on loan security and put more on basically whether the company can basically have enough revenues to pay loans instead of always going on this security issue. That's why loans are not performing, because the companies don't have a good inflow to perform on these loans.
All right. Gentlemen, we're grateful for your time this morning. Wisdom Dogbe is a financial analyst. He joined the conversation. We also had Kojo Poku, an energy analyst. It's time now for us to take a breather. We hand over to the sports team, and from there, we'll get back into the major stories. Do stay. We'll be back.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to AM Sports. I am Muftaru Nabila Abdullahi, President of the Ghana Olympic Committee. Ben Nunu Mensah says that Otto Addo is not good enough to lead the Black Stars as his head coach. Speaking on our sister station, Asampa FM, Ben Nunu Mensah said that Otto Addo should be sacked immediately as head coach of the senior national team.
Personally, I haven't been too convinced with Otto Addo's, technical prowess. If you watch the games ending against Niger now, the second half, I thought any good coach would have changed his tactics, and then you realize Kwesi Appiah changed his tactics completely. Yeah, that's how come they overrun us. So most time critical matches and crucial matches are won by the coaches. And he may use it to judge or not to assess him, especially the AFCON, we don't know how he went. I don't think I'm convinced that he's somebody who can qualify us or is technically competent enough to qualify the Black Stars. Wow. He may, but I don't think. It's my personal opinion, based on what I've seen and what I expected, any world-class coach to change his tactics coming back in the second half. And I think that is something that is quite challenging to me. He said, one, the Black Stars get as any funding they want, they get it from the government. Yeah. They are being very well funded. Okay, the players who play for the Black Stars, almost so they are very, very well taken care of. Okay, unlike the other national teams, so being funded, being motivated, and yes, so you are not producing results. So it must be something maybe Amenewo will not be able to point out. That would be an internal GFA issue, and I wouldn't want to go into BBR that I'm not on top of. What I can also say as a sports administrator and as a football administrator, I think the commitment level of some of your players has a lot of question mark on it. Okay. These days, we have players who, like I say, they have no attachment to the homeland. These players were born outside, they grew up outside, they are doing so well in their clubs, yeah. Some motivation to die a little bit for Mother Ghana. In any case, Mother Ghana doesn't even, in their world, doesn't even exist because they have another mother somewhere. Okay. Okay. For convenience sake, World Cup is easier to come through Ghana because I'm playing in the Premiership, I'm playing in the La Liga. You're being regarded as top. It could be one of the factors, but for me, I would have wished that our players were a little bit more committed.
Covering an area of about 11 hectares, the completely walled Kumasi Zoological Gardens is situated at Kejetia, the center of Kumasi. Patronage of the zoo dwindled between 2009 and 2019. From 9,069 visitors in 2019, the Kumasi Zoo recorded 142,518 visitors in 2023 to become the fourth most visited attraction site in Ghana. That is according to the 2023 Ghana Tourism Authority's report.
Over the years, the numbers have actually increased. For the past 2-3 years, we've seen about a 300% increase of visitors to the zoo. Last year, we had around 120,000. This year, the year has not ended yet, but we've already passed 100,000, and we are very hopeful that what Forestry Commission wants us to do in terms of the target for the year, we'll be able to really achieve it.
The facility now boasts of 256 animals from 54 different species. Perhaps the reason behind the zoo's skyrocketing figures, since patrons are served with variety.
If you come to Kumasi Zoo today, you will see or enjoy or learn from about 256 individual animals, making 54 different species of animals. So you see the big cats, you can see the way the kids are enjoying the lions, you see the camels, we have other cats, we have hyenas, we have a unique animal which is the first in the region, which is down there. You can see it from here, that is a zebra, and we know kids like zebras. So it is important we have such animals so that when the kids come, they're able to see a variety of animals.
What about visiting the cage side of Samson, the lively only male chimpanzee at the zoo that will excitedly respond to every human instruction to display in rolling antics, or maybe witnessing the feeding of the king of the jungle, the lions.
When you see people's reaction towards seeing what these animals offer, and especially today, Lions Feeding Hour, and I overheard a mother of about 40-something years old say that she has never seen a lion, and that mother has a daughter of about 3 years old. The mother of 40-something and a 3-year-old has seen a lion together for the first time and seen how the lion is fed in the zoo setting for the first time. That is very, very exciting.
Born in 2012, Samson has developed a penchant to entertain patrons, making the chimpanzee the most exciting animal at the Kumasi Zoo.
Samson is a chimpanzee, a male chimpanzee who was born in Kumasi Zoo in the year 2012. His father was Jimmy, if you've heard of Jimmy the chimpanzee in Kumasi Zoo. And Samson was with his father. He learned a lot of skills from his father, and because of that, when children come and start mentioning his name, he starts making some moves, and that excites the kids a lot. To the extent that it can take about almost 20 to 30 minutes, people standing by him and not moving to any other enclosure. And it's sometimes exciting to see something drinking from a bottled water. Sometimes when you see something eating gobe, it's so interesting.
Members of the Children's Ministry of the Krapat District of the Seventh-day Adventist Church witnessed the antics of Samson. The children and their teachers were at the zoo as part of the celebrations of the 150th anniversary celebration of Creation Sabbath. 9-year-old Benita Owusu Frimpong is thrilled at the sight of the animals, especially lions.
When you saw them, what was your reaction?
I said wow, and when I saw the lions, I said so they were like this big. I thought they were small because in some movie there were some small cubs of lions.
Among them is 37-year-old mother who visited the zoo for the first time with her 4-year-old daughter. She is excited at the serene environment at the zoo and the wild animals.
The
Krapat District Director of the Children's Ministry, Beverly Frimpong, insists the visit to the zoo is worth the hype.
Some of the things the children, they normally see them in the books
but here they have seen it rarely. We are here in the zoo and they are witnessing God's creation.
Authorities of the Kumasi Zoological Gardens have stepped up efforts to increase patronage of the zoo, which also serve as research ground for academics. The facility has seen over 100,000 patrons as of October 2024. The Catch Them Young program, which is targeted at children, is also encouraging first-time adult visitors to the zoo, with schools, religious bodies and other groups being targeted.
80% of the visitors that come to the zoo are actually students. And then the students come here for tourism just like this. A lot of them come for educational excursions. And then most also come for research. So all the universities in Ghana from Upper East, Upper West, Legon, KNUST, Cape Vast, they all come here to take data for their research work.
The Kumasi Zoo is more than alive now. Just pay a visit to see the lively exploits of Samson the chimpanzee and his compatriot lion, among other animals.
And of course, when you see that, you know that we're taking you right into our election headquarters, and we have, as we hit our big stories, that major conversation coming up. Do you want to know? I'll be telling you about it shortly. But before I get into that, this year's CompuGhana Cashback has been named Prime Cashback Season, and it's packed with goodies, incredible deals, and exciting surprises. Want to know more? This Prime Cashback, CompuGhana is bringing you exclusive discounts. Prime savings, awesome surprises, whenever you shop for products from any of their branches nationwide. Now, you can find products from your favorite brands like Samsung, LG, TCL, HP, Lenovo, Dell, Midea, Nasco, Tecno, Infinix, Itel, Huawei, and many more. Think of it, they have it. So visit any of the CompuGhana branches nationwide and enjoy exclusive discounts on all products. Now, CompuGhana has a wide range of IT-related products: mobile phones, electronic products, laptops, printers, desktops, tablets, televisions, fridges, home theaters, air conditioners, gas cookers, and more. What's more amazing is that this year's Prime Cashback with CompuGhana has got great prizes with instant gifts, cash prizes for your shopping experience. So when you shop at CompuGhana this season, be on the lookout for the surprise team, answer a question correctly, win instant cash and gifts. Yes, you deserve this opportunity too. Rush to CompuGhana now. The promo runs from now till December. Visit CompuGhana.com or reach them on 0302 752 020 for more information. Well, let me also tell you a bit about the Medicas Hospital, a modern healthcare facility built with your recovery in mind. They have spacious wards built with your family in mind, a warm and caring pediatric unit built with your children in mind. And they have also assembled some of the brightest minds in medicine, led by Dr. Ayawaso, the drive time doctor, to serve you. They offer general medical services as well as specialist services in plastic surgery, obstetrics, gynecology, child health, urology, psychiatry, and eye care. To boot, they offer a comprehensive medical diagnostic service encompassing endoscopies, medical laboratory services, x-rays, and scans. And they have a 24-hour pharmacy, ensuring you always receive efficacious, safe, and affordable medicine. And they're bringing to you the most powerful medicine of all: simple human kindness and empathy. They pride themselves on holding themselves to the highest attainable standards. And they also accept all forms of payment, including from private health insurance companies. Where can you find them? Locate Medicas Hospital at number 10 Kinso Street, near the Ashaleboche School Junction. You can call them on 0501 477 340, 0501 477 340, or on social media at Medicas GH. Medicas Hospital, a place of healing. Well, welcome to us, a place of revelation and information. That's what we do here. I have the pleasure of hosting Dennis Miracles Aboagye. He speaks for the Bawumia campaign, the Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia campaign, and he joins me in the studio. Good morning.
Morning, Ben. How are you doing?
I'm okay. How about you?
Almost there. We're fine.
How's it going on the campaign trail? I hear the Vice President is back in the Ashanti region.
Yes, but we're wrapping up. I mean, as at yesterday, he's done with all the 276 constituencies and each of the 16 regions. So it's just a wrap-up moment for us now as we gear towards the Saturday polls. Yeah.
Okay. Some have said that, it's because of the heat that the former president is bringing in the region that the Vice President has had to come back to the region. Is that the case?
Whatever it is, we want the votes.
You want the votes?
Yes. So whether it's a heat or it's a cold, whatever it takes for Dr. Bawumia to win the elections on Saturday, we will do it. He's not a lazy man. He's a very, very, in fact, of the 13 candidates, he's the only one that has done 276. The former president hasn't done 276.
Right.
And so if it's heat, that would send him back to constituencies that he's even done already. It tells you what he's made up of, and it's all good. He's going to continue campaigning till the time when the law doesn't allow him to campaign anymore.
Right. The former president has said that this government has not been fair to the Ashanti region, where they get most of their votes. What has been the messaging of the NPP in the Ashanti region, especially in this last belt? What is the messaging?
I think the former president knows the truth, but he's simply decided to do what he does best. Misrepresent, lie to the people, and then get the vote. Listen, no government since 1992 has done as much as the NPP has done in the Ashanti region or in any of the other regions than the NPP. Okay. And so I suppose that if he makes that point, then it's fair that we run a quick comparative analysis between his party and his leadership and this government. I thought that when he made that point, he was going to list what it is that he's done for the people. So sector by sector, we can run some quick comparison, but he didn't do that. I mean, which aspects of the sectors in the Ashanti region is the former president talking about? We have done over 2,700 kilometers of roads in the Ashanti region.
I see.
He did 331 kilometers. So what is he talking about?
Right.
In fact, when the Ashanti people asked him for better roads during his tenure as president, he told them that even if he places gold on their roads, they will not appreciate. President Kufuor,
he says he's done more in that region than
I'm giving you the figures. I'm giving you the figures. So when you finish, call him, let him give you his figures. Because I'm giving you the figures. So it's not just you saying, I'm giving you the figures.
You said over what, 2,000 kilometers of roads. Right.
Yes.
In which areas?
Across the Ashanti region. Okay. Across the Ashanti region. I mean, we've put out the videos and put out the data is there. I can share with you if you want. Okay. Across the Ashanti region, inner roads, highways, across the region. Across the places like Amansia South that has never seen even a centimeter of roads. So they have roads in those areas.
I'm curious, does it include the Swami roundabout area?
It's ongoing, it's not part. It's ongoing. The 2,007 are completed roads.
Okay.
Completed roads.
I only ask because people complain a lot about that area.
And it's completed roads.
Okay.
He did 331. The former president doesn't have a single hospital, one hospital that he started and completed for the people of Ashanti, not even one. Call him, let him give you one as we speak. Even hospitals that President Kufuor left in 2008, the Eurojet project, 6 of them were in Ashanti region. The entire 8 years of vice president and being president, he couldn't complete even one. Nice. He started 2 of his own NSM hospital projects. He couldn't complete them. So he
but is government not meant to be a continuum?
Hang on. He left 8. So it means that he left the 6 hospitals President Kufuor gave him, and then also left the 2
he started 2.
That he started. 8 to us. Okay. We have completed all 6 of those projects and commissioned them. Last week, President Kufuor commissioned about 3 of these projects. President Kufuor, as we speak, out of the Agenda 111 project, has 16 in Ashanti region. He's completed 5 of them. We've put up close to about 700 educational infrastructure in the Ashanti region alone. So you make a point about continuum. That is the point. And so if you go and stand in front of the people of Ashanti and say that the NPP hasn't been fair to you, they laugh at you because they remember you. They remember and they ask you, what did you do? What? Because you don't just say, we haven't been fair to them. What did you do? Then we'll run the comparison.
So in other words, the former president can't compare his record in the Ashanti region to your record,
I have mentioned to you, did he mention his? Because I just mentioned to you.
He mentions road projects as well. He mentions the Ketia market. He mentions some other facilities.
331 kilometers. So we run the numbers. Then we will know who has been fed to who. Because remember, the amount of votes that the former president and his party gets in Ashanti is even more than the total number of votes he gets in his own strongholds in the Volta region.
Well, that is true. What he gets in the Ashanti region is more than what he gets in the Volta region. But it also doesn't mean it's all about the population. You can't take that out of context and say it's out of the population.
I'm just trying to pick on his own words and show the inconsistencies and hypocrisies in his words.
How is it inconsistent?
Yeah, because you did nothing for the people. How do you?
He did nothing.
I mean, comparatively, that's why I'm running numbers. See, I always insist that elections are about comparisons. That's why we're going to make a choice.
Okay.
A choice. You're making a choice because one is better than the other.
Okay.
And so how does the person that did little come to tell you that vote for him and vote against the one that did more? That is the challenge that the people of Ashanti...
I have a few people disputing what you're saying, who say they are in the Ashanti region. And they say, hey, all these projects completed. But anyway...
But I have the data here. I can give them to you.
You can share with us
all the routes. I'll give them all to you.
You can share a few. Share a few with us.
It's actually public knowledge. It's public knowledge. We've put the data out.
Okay.
We've put the list. In fact, the president actually presented it to Parliament.
Okay.
So it's in actually.
You're talking of the one he presented at the SONA? Is that the one you're referencing?
It's there with pictures, videos, and everything.
Where he mentioned that, no administration had ever constructed the number of roads
which
that
is
the
fact.
NPP
He's
had.
done over.
And then it created among the construction community some disparities because people were saying, wait, what do you mean? Are you referring to feeder roads? Are you referring to fully functional roads? Are you referring to cocoa roads? All of those came into the picture.
Roads.
Are you referring to roads that are being refurbished?
We have feeder, we have urban, we have highways.
Right.
Refurbished, what they call the resurfacing, new roads, the constructed roads, resealing. They are all roads that need work done, and governments do them. The former president, remember, also went to SONA to announce what he has done. He said he did 4,000 kilometers of roads at the same SONA. Akufo-Addo went to SONA with his records and he has done currently about 13,000 kilometers of roads. These are roads, they are there. You understand? So we don't just speak and say, we have done this. We speak, we give you the details, we give you the pictures, we give you the videos. And so the former president should just save us the inconsistency.
Just do me a quick favor. I know you are a man of data, so someone is asking, so the 6 hospitals you speak of, which ones specifically? The ones that you inherited?
The 6 Irradiate hospitals. I mean, those are the Fomena, Kumewu, those class of hospitals.
Those areas.
Those have been done. I mean, everybody.
So all of them are in that cluster?
Yes. And then the 2 NMS projects that he started, one of them is also completed.
That Mahama started?
Yes. One of them have also been completed. I mean, these are projects that everybody know where they come from. These are legacy projects that have been pending for the Afari Hospital, the Sewa Hospital, and all of that. These are all parts of those hospitals.
Okay. Another person also comes to say Ashanti has seen more roads than any other region, more hospitals, more schools for the first time.
That's fact.
All right.
That's fact.
Tell me also briefly, since we've started talking about roads, the Tema motorway. I know in recent times there was some, launch of that as well. What's happening to the Tema motorway?
The work is ongoing. I live on that road. It's ongoing. Even this.
That's why I'm telling you that in recent times there was another. But I'm saying what is happening on that.
It's ongoing. So the contractors are on site.
So how much work has been done?
I will not be able to measure because I'm not a technical person.
Okay.
But as we speak, I live on that stretch. This morning when you go, you realize that there are contractors on site actually working on the motorway.
I am being reminded. I've already asked you about the Swami roundabout, but. More commentary coming in, asking for. So is that going to be completed before?
How? We have until on Saturday.
But you know why it's curious to me? You remember that infamous incident where the former majority leader, Oseiche Mensah-Bonsu, there was that sachet water unfortunate incident and all of that. It's been quite a while.
I was in Swami last
week. No, if you will just hold for me. I mean, there's been quite a bit of time because if I'm not mistaken, that incident was 2+ years ago?
Yes.
2+ years, right?
Yes.
Okay. Within that time, everything that happened from the dust to the inconvenience to people who sell in that area to moto, and other users of the road, we still haven't been able to complete it. I'm only bringing it up because there are complaints of that.
So
it's not going to be completed
but the Swami
before.
project is ongoing with some of the inner roads even completed. See, the Swami project is roads and interchanges. Now, the
I didn't refer to it as an interchange because so far
it's important. It's important because the interchange could not have come without the inner roads. And the Swami people understand. I was in Swami. In fact, I was in Swami with your team, with your ecosystem team. And the people acknowledge that. But for the inner roads that are being done, the place will be chaotic. So as we speak now, the inner roads are being done. Some of them are even commissioned and are being used right now. Once the inner roads are completed, then they can come to the interchange proper. So that once the interchange is ongoing, there will not be traffic congestion there, but there will be the inner roads for the people to use, which are the side roads that are joining to that side. So that is a project that is active.
But the side roads don't mean, yes, side roads are like the veins of the road, or you should say the arteries of the road. But you need the heartbeat, which is the center of the project.
No.
When is the center of the project?
These are center of the projects.
What?
Swami road issues. The Swami road issues is inner roads and interchange. So none of them are veins. These are center of the Swami.
When is the project going to be completed?
It's ongoing.
What's the projection?
At 24 months or so.
What is the projection?
24 months.
In 24 months?
Yes. Also, it started somewhere early this year or late last year. So probably by end of next year, we should be able to see. But currently, as we speak, don't miss the point. There are roads in Swami that have been asphalted and tarred, all connected to the project. I was there last week. In fact, I wasn't just there to pass through. I was there with your own team. We were there in a community engagement with the people, and they spoke to this fact.
Okay, so let me just ask you, are you saying that it's taken 24 months, the project, or you say in 24 months? I just wanted clarity.
In 24 months. So it started last year. So probably if we've done about 12 months, we should be able to see the interchange up in about 12 months. In any case, if you are even going to
let me stay with you here. It's going to be ready in 12 months or 24 months?
In 12 months, because about 12 months have been done already.
Okay, so let's say by next year this time,
yes,
the Swami project would have been completed.
Absolutely.
But that also points to the importance of a continuum in government, right? You were referencing the former president's 2 hospitals that he didn't complete in the Ashanti region. And you're also not completing this. It goes back.
That's why there's Swami people who vote against him.
Let me make my point.
That's why there's Swami people who vote against him.
That is why, indeed, projects by and large, you start and hope to finish. But those you don't finish, the next administration, God willing, continues. So you see the relevance of that.
I don't see it. Don't misconstrue the point. No, I don't see it. Let me tell you.
Why?
Because there are 2 different types of governments. One completes project that they inherit, the others don't. The former president and the NDC do not have a project that they inherited and completed. That is why they inherit the Eurojust project as far back as in 2008 and exit office in 2016 and still do not complete it. And so the Swami people are mindful of that. They are mindful of the fact that if they should make a mistake and vote the NDC into office, the likelihood of their project being abandoned is high. Because look at the Accra Kumasi Road. President Kufuor started the Accra Kumasi dual project, and the NDC in 8 years left it, abandoned it. So you cannot create the impression as if the next government will continue. The evidence is that when the NDC comes to power, they abandon this project. And the Accra Kumasi Road is one of such evidence. And that's why people are mindful of that.
Okay.
They are mindful of the fact that if they want their project to be completed, then they need to keep the NPP in power. Because anytime they make a mistake and bring the NDC, these projects are abandoned. And it's dotted all over the country.
I'll give you some data on that shortly. But I could also remind you of at least Saglemi and some other projects that have become what they have with taxpayers' money.
I have given you
Dennis,
evidence.
when I'm asking a question, just
I have given you evidence.
Can I land? Okay. Other projects that also were initiated by the erstwhile administration, which have not been completed. So I guess in that same breath, we could say that all of us, or all of you, the politicians, could do better.
That's not true.
Let
me answer. Let me answer.
Go ahead.
That's not true. I keep telling you that when the people go to the pool, they are going to make a choice. The choice is between the better between the 2 or the better amongst the 13. Now, the evidence points to the fact that between the NPP and the NDC, the NPP has a record of completing inherited projects than the NDC. That is fact. And so for you to just come and outline 1 or 2 that you think are outstanding, Saglemi project has not been abandoned.
Why are the 1 or 2 not relevant?
Saglemi project has not been abandoned.
The 1 or 2, are they not relevant?
Saglemi project has not been abandoned.
What has happened?
What is fact? What is fact is that the NDC has records of abandoning projects that they inherited from the NPP.
But you don't.
But we have records of completing some of the projects that we inherited from
like
the
Acclaimed.
Is it completed? Or you are being sarcastic?
No, I'm asking you.
Is it completed? Or you're just being sarcastic?
I mean, like Acclaimed, right?
The 6 Eurojets project that the NDC inherited from the NPP, they abandoned. We have completed it. That is fact.
I see.
We met UGMC from the Atamos government. UGMC phase 2, we have done it. That is fact. Give me evidence of what the NDC met and completed, rather than listing what you think the NPP didn't complete.
Let me just, before I veer out, so this is not opening. When I get it open, I'll get back to it. But let's look at yesterday's special voting. What would be your assessment?
Well, I think that what is encouraging is the turnout.
The turnout.
That's what is most important. If we're going to
it's interesting because I was going to ask you about exactly
that. If we're going to take a decision on leadership of this country, it's important that we have a lot more people playing a part in that. And for me, I get worried whenever we go to elections and turnouts are low. Because when turnouts are low, it means that in actual terms, we are not getting the view of the right representation of the people. And so if you're getting turnout of 80, 90, 95, I think that is quite impressive. And that is my take out from yesterday's elections. It's my wish and hope that we're going to have even much more higher turnout on Saturday across the country. I think that the people must speak. The people must actually turn out and cast their vote. Fortunately, Friday, I hear, is a holiday. And then Saturday, I understand, of course, it's a weekend. And so it's my belief and hope that a lot of people will travel back home to their various polling stations and cast their vote. But yesterday, I think my takeaway is the turnout.
All right. Now, that voter turnout, what does it signal to you, especially when, after 8-year periods, when our cycle, which we've had, entering the 9th election, where there's a transition in government, you often see this trend. Voter turnout is very high. We're seeing that this time. And yesterday, in many places, in fact, a lot of those I followed, from Senya East to other places, Ododo Diodo, 80% plus turnouts, which I found very curious. What does that signal to you as an incumbent party after 8 years?
That has been our strategy.
What has been your strategy?
I'm telling you that, and I've said it everywhere and posted everywhere. Whenever the Ghanaian people turn out, NPP wins the elections. Whenever we turn out and vote, we win the elections. And for us, that's the indication. We're encouraging people to turn out. We need to turn out in our numbers to vote on Saturday because the future of this country is at stake. We are not going to be hoodwinked by a former president that had an opportunity and couldn't deliver and vote for him again. And the only way we can stop the former president, who is a threat and a risk to several very good policies and programs of this country, is to turn out and vote for him on Saturday. And for us, that's the indication. And we are continuously advocating for that. We're going to push for that. We're going to encourage people. We are committing our time and resources between now and Friday to encourage people to turn out. That is our focus.
All right. There are other developments. You speak about how smooth the process was. I don't want to read PNDC Law 284. I will only get to it if you need me to. There was food sharing and the sharing of other goodies to some service personnel. And in this instance, those who give and those who take are complicit. When the Electoral Commission itself, time without number, has made it clear that you political parties don't do that. In some other areas in Ghana, the Ghana area, both parties were seen doing that. In Ayawaso West Wuogon, my peeve was the fact that it wasn't just party apparatchiks or the member of parliament herself. She came on radio to deny it, but we have the video, was distributing same to service personnel. Why do you think this is happening? And is it right for you?
Ben, you like putting words in my mouth. I never spoke of how smooth the election was. I didn't mention anything like that. I only spoke of turnout.
Oh, okay. All right.
So we are now coming to how smooth the program was. So I really think that, this our electoral system and process is still quite young. We're still perfecting it. And I believe that we should continuously do the advocacy and do the sensitization to reduce some of these things. If it's wrong or if it's against the law for you to share food, don't share food. If it's against the law for you to share food, don't share food. If it's against the law for you to share money, don't share money. I don't know about the Ayawaso West Wuogon one. I didn't follow it yesterday, so I'm not so sure exactly what happened.
You didn't?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
I didn't. So I'm not so sure exactly what happened. But
so can I tell you what happened?
Oh well,
service personnel were in a queue.
I can't speak to it.
And food and drink was distributed to them, including with the Member of Parliament for Ayawaso West.
Because I wasn't there. I haven't spoken to her neither.
Lady
I haven't heard what she's also said. But like I'm saying.
But assuming what I am telling you is true, what is the reaction?
And if it's against the law, then don't do it. Okay. I mean, for example, I saw some videos on Sunday of some NDC candidates sharing rice and oil. I think Daily Graphic posted it on their wall, and I was disgusted. I don't think that we should be doing that.
Right.
Especially if it is meant to induce the voter. Then we shouldn't be doing that. But I mean, for the specifics, I don't know. I wasn't there. I haven't followed it.
But for what other reason will these distributions be made apart from inducing the voter?
Oh,
for what other reason?
Several reasons. I mean,
tell me about some of them.
You know, when you go into the constituencies and you go into the polling stations, usually it's more a family relationship that we have there. So there are times that during the elections, you have political parties cooking en masse, political parties having water and drinks at the polling stations, because sometimes when you go to the polling stations, EC is unable to provide the needed comfort and convenience for the voter. There are no seats, there are no chairs, they are standing in the sun and all of that. And people try to provide some of these things, water, drinks.
That is not your role to play as political parties. And the EC has told you, saying, time without number, that don't do this for us.
That's what I'm saying.
In fact, we provide for them. Whether they are hungry or not is not your business. So why do you still go ahead and do it?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't know exactly what transpired yesterday. But if I decide to have food in my house, and you are going to vote, I come and pick food and go and eat, I haven't committed any crime. I haven't.
We are talking of people bringing the food to the site.
If it's against the law, then it's against the law. Don't do it.
So as political parties, I've actually heard members of your political party say in the past that these are not right, certain actions will be taken. This is just the tip of the iceberg, the special voting. D-Day is Saturday. I don't have the NDC here, but I have you here. What is the NPP going to do to cure this ahead of Saturday?
Don't flout the law.
Don't flout the law.
I mean, let's stick to the law. I have a copy of the CI here. This is a regulation for, conducting these elections. Let's stick to what the law says. If the law says don't do it, don't do it. Let's just make sure that we go through these elections smoothly. Do only what the law allows you. If the law stops you from sharing food, sharing water, sharing drinks, just do not do it. And that's what we are going to encourage our party people across the country to do.
Okay, it's not about if, it does. But what then, are there going to be any punitive measures? I mean, yesterday when Kweku Asante was in Ayawaso West Wuogon, he's eventually been, spoken to. The OSP waded into the matter, and it's being taken from there. But as a party, what are you going to do? Are there going to be any punitive measures in dealing with the situation? Because there's also the thinking that, apart from the security services, if the political parties crack the whip, people will realize that, listen, if you go and do this, you're on your own, rather than going to be protected. So from the party's end, how are you going to help our security services deal with this problem?
Oh, well, I mean, internally, we hold the regulations and rules of the Electoral Commission and even the laws of this country very high. So sometimes, usually when some of these things happen, trust me, Ben, it's not as if we go and shield anybody. We do take decisions and actions internally.
Right.
Sometimes not necessarily punitive, but sometimes it helps us to know which areas we need to improve our advocacy and sensitization and even education of our people. And that's something that we're going to continue doing from now onwards. I mean, like I'm saying, specifically what happened yesterday, I really didn't follow. I'll check on that. But I'm sure if it's something that flouts the law, the party would take action on it.
All right. Another issue that came up, did you post yesterday some people's votes or someone's vote, the ballot? Did you post that?
Yes, I did.
On your Facebook yesterday?
Somebody's no, but I posted ballots with thumbprints, but not somebody's.
But not somebody's? Yours?
I haven't voted.
Okay. So whose was it?
It's a sample ballot paper, like the one we use for the public education.
Sample ballot paper?
Yes.
So it wasn't a ballot from yesterday with someone. It wasn't a ballot from yesterday with someone voting.
How would I be able to get somebody voting in a booth? ballot paper. It was on one of the images, I think, on the WhatsApp or Facebook or something that I put out. I put that as part of our voter education.
As part of your voter education, I see. It had serial numbers on them.
We have serial numbers on our sample ballot papers because it's a sample. You must make sure that it has all the details.
How did you get these samples?
It's online. It's online. It's still online. It's online all over.
Okay, with someone who had actually thumbprinted.
Yes, we have several of them. In fact, we print some and take them to the homes for our door-to-door campaign to educate the people.
Oh, I see. So you actually have these ballots, the samples that you claim, and
then we thumbprint.
You thumbprint, and that's how you teach people how to. You see, you post that post had energy with 3 fire emojis, suggesting that it was probably someone who had cast his or her vote, and you were putting it out.
Why are you suggesting that I posted it? That was not the case.
Well, I'm merely putting it to you. That's why you are here to clarify.
That's not the case. That's not the case.
I see.
It's part of the voter education.
Right.
I post every day. In fact, I even posted another one with a video actually showing how to vote.
I see. Don't you think you're doing enough in terms of the adverts, some of which are on this platform? You have to do this and put it out on a day when people are voting. Yes. And that is part of education, knowing very well that per our laws, in fact, when you look at Article 49(1) of the 1992 Constitution, it speaks against that act of anybody, anybody voting and not letting it to be in secrecy. Yeah. That is what 49(1) stresses. And which since 2012 especially, I have the stories here, the Electoral Commission has been vehement on. In fact, in the last election, Dr. Shiriwo Kweku was very adamant that, look, don't do this, that per what we do, whether by convention or in consonance with 49(1), you do this, it is illegal, it is criminal. Yet, on a day like yesterday, special voting, you posted that, and the explanation is that these are samples, so it's okay.
So
yes, go ahead.
It is when you vote and you put your ballot out that is a crime. I haven't voted.
Okay.
So I haven't put my ballot out. So where's the crime? Where's the flouting of the law? The law says that you must vote in secrecy. Even that, there's no law that says that you can't take a picture of the ballot.
Do you think it was apt?
I haven't voted.
Sure. Do you think it was apt to do that on a day like yesterday?
In fact, I will do that on the 7th of December.
You do it again on the 7th of
Public
December.
education is very important.
Okay. All right. You also do realize, I listened to the EC, that the thumbprint there can be traced, right? I mean, from the serial number to the exact place where the ballot was cast to the specific thumbprint to identify who exactly had that thumbprint and whether it was actually part of the vote yesterday or not. You know that, right?
I mean, that's your problem. I'm not telling you I didn't tell you that's a...
Oh, no, I'm not saying anything. I'm merely asking you. You do know that, right?
I do know what? I want to understand.
I'm saying...
You know that I've said a sample ballot...
In responding to this yesterday, mention was made that as you put your thumbprint there, if you take a photo of it, you are saying that it's a sample, right? And I'm just saying that if it's the real thing, whether it's a sample or whatever, it can be traced down to the specific ballot box, down to the specific individual. You're aware of that, right?
Yes, why not?
Okay.
Why not?
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I guess that matter then is settled.
Yes.
And you think, just finally, you also think it is okay that on the 7th of December, you do the same thing?
Yes, so that people know how they should vote. Yes, sample ballot papers. In fact, as part of embedded in our door-to-door is the sample ballot paper that we show. And the sample ballot paper has a complete semblance of the...
You have so many adverts teaching people how to vote.
It doesn't matter. You know that...
You have to do that on D-Day before people realize...
You know that in our elections, sport ballot is usually even number 3. You are aware? The sport ballot is number 3 after NDC and NPP. You are aware of that? You are aware? So... what you even need to do is to begin to even give us a lot more free airtime to do more of such education. So we are going to utilize every single avenue to do that education, including even on the D-Day.
Okay. Let me ask you about heading towards Saturday. You're still campaigning.
Yes.
I believe it ends on, is it Thursday or Friday?
I don't
because I've got mixed signals from the different parties. I know the former president will be there throughout the week. I think 6 days or so. So I don't know. When is your campaign officially?
I think by convention, not our campaign, but by convention, usually on the 5th midnight, we enter into 6, so everybody assumes that. But I don't even know.
So that's like Thursday, right?
That's like Friday, because 12 a.m. Friday.
Okay, so it has entered.
Sort of, so like the day before elections.
But by and large, you can say Thursday it ends, because at dawn you are not really doing anything. So by Thursday, your campaign is ending.
Yes.
All right. And the insistence is that you're going to win this election. I have seen the projections from Professor Smart, who gives Dr. Bawumia some 49+%, with the former President Mahama about 44 or 45%. I have seen Global Info Analytics giving the former president over 51% and Dr. Bawumia in the 40s. I could fish out the data. And then I think Cheddar getting a little more than Alan Chemanting, and all the others getting about, is it 0.9%. The EIU, Fitch have projected that the former president likely will win this election. What is your projection?
Well, I think that the only pool that's going to be a redo is Saturday. Saturday. I mean, Fitch, EIU, they were all referencing one source, Global Info Analytics, really.
Really?
Yes, if you read the report, read the Fitch Solutions report, is there. They reference, that's where they pick their data from, yes.
Oh, I see.
But that's not even relevant to us. Okay. What is most crucial to us is the work that we've put in, and the engagement that we've done with the people, and the fact that it's without doubt that between Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and the former president, he has covered more spaces, engaged more people, and he's the one that has put out clear-cut, cogent solutions to the prevailing issues that matter most to the Ghanaian people. And that's what the people are going to stand on to vote. I don't see how the teacher who was left at home for 4 years before she was employed under this government is going to vote for the former president. I don't see how the over 100,000 children every year, close to about 1 million who were left at home under his tenure, are going to vote for him. I don't see how these teachers and doctors and nurses who worked for 4 years and were paid 3 months are going to vote for him. I really don't see that happening. I don't see the companies and businesses who shut down during the Doomsday era under his tenure are going to turn out to vote for him. I don't see how the cocoa farmer who is able to buy 30 bags of cement today, as against buying 10 bags of cement in 2016, is going to turn out to vote for him. So, the signs are on the wall, and it's quite clear. You can see it. You can even sense it from his voice that he knows he has lost these elections. This is a political party that basically wrote us off. As at 2022, they thought they had won. In fact, at their event at the UPSA, the former president complained that they were sharing the positions already because they thought they had won. But, reality has set in. And clearly they can tell that nobody's going to vote for you simply because NPP hasn't done this. They're going to vote for you because you are telling them what you think you can do when they vote for you. Nobody's going to vote for you because you've been in opposition for 8 years. They're going to vote for you because they are hearing solutions that addresses their issues. And there is nothing intriguing, nothing new. There's nothing that is causing anxiety in the minds and hearts of the people about the former president. We've seen it all. Everything he's telling us today, he told us in 2012. And we voted for him.
All right.
What is his scorecard? The only reason why any Ghanaian, you vote for any of the candidates is when they show you that when you give me the opportunity, this is what I did. And of all the 13 people on the ballot paper, he's the only one that has that responsibility. Because he's the only one that has been president. And yet it's been 8 years of campaigning and he hasn't been able to tell us what he actually did. Tell us
that's an interesting perspective, because especially when you talk about having served, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has been vice president for 8 years now. But I have an interesting proposition for you. You talk about some of the issues for which reason no one would vote for the former president, right? I also look at the current power issues which we've had for some years now. You look at Galamsey and its ravages, you mentioned, so cocoa farmers as well. You look at the banking sector cleanup and the fallout from there till today and how much we invested in it. You look at nurses not being posted. You look at the economy. You look at what was said about the inflationary rates, the exchange rates and all that. I guess all of that should still make people vote for the NPP, right?
So they should go and vote for the former president.
No, I'm not saying. No, I'm saying hold on. All that means people should.
See, nobody's going to vote for the NPP. People are going to vote for John Mahama or Bawumia. That's something. So nobody's going to hide behind their political parties. The leader is responsible for his leadership and his tenure. So the question is that Akufo-Addo couldn't do these things you mentioned. Baba Umia did them. Mahama did them. So they should vote for Mahama. Mahama posted the doctors and the nurses. Mahama posted the teachers.
They didn't post
Mahama
some of
didn't
them.
have them, so no.
They didn't post some of them.
We haven't posted some of them. We haven't posted some of them.
But you say that all these things, and I'm saying that some of the things we said then are still problems today.
Hang on. So they should vote for him. That is why you should vote for him. That is why you should.
You're saying that on the back of these, they shouldn't vote for him.
That is why.
And I'm saying that how about
yes,
yours?
But why do you vote for him and vote against the one who hasn't had the leadership before? Has Bawumia been president before?
No, I say.
No, but it's all you see. That's a fact. Why should you go and vote for somebody that is carrying all this baggage you have confirmed? And vote against the one that hasn't had the responsibility before?
The vice president is the second most powerful person.
He was a vice president. That even makes his baggage worse. So let's now run a comparative analysis between Mahama as vice president and Mahama as Bawumia, then take a decision.
Mahama as Bawumia.
Yes. If that is the point you want to make. If that is the point you want to make, then we can only compare them on their roles as vice president. But you are telling me that Mahama carries all this baggage, but we should vote for him because Akufo-Addo on the ballot paper.
I see. Well, it's interesting you make that point because it segues neatly into probably the final point I want to make. Professor Frimpong Boateng is a leading member of the NPP. And he's been saying in recent times, this is not the NPP I love. He actually talks about the fact that Dr. Bawumia is alien in the NPP, that he lacks an emotional connection to the party, that voting for him would merely extend President Akufo-Addo's administration. He stresses the NPP's shortcomings under this current leadership, and he also criticizes the failure to tackle corruption effectively. In fact, he says, the NPP I knew was a party that upheld the rule of law, good governance, and separation of powers. It was a party that believed it belonged to the people, not a select few. This is not the NPP I love. Since, especially dovetailing into what you just said, how do you react to a stalwart of the party saying this?
He's contradicting himself.
Oh, I see.
So the party belongs to the people, like he said. The people have taken a decision as to what they want, the direction they want the party to go. And you are sitting on the side and rather complaining and referring to the party being for the people. Isn't everything we have running in the NPP are decisions by the people? The people are the polling stations executive, the regional and constituency executives, and the party executives who hold the fort of the party. Now, they have taken the decision as to the direction of the party. You are sitting on the side and now saying that these are the party I know, and the party I know belongs to the people, and yet it's the people's decision that we are running with. So you see the inconsistencies. He is contradicting himself and wrapping himself up with the same issues that he is raising. The party of the NPP belongs to the people. That is why when we want to take decisions, we go to the people and allow the people to decide as to the direction they want to go. And so I really am struggling to understand the point Professor Frimpong is making. Really, there is nobody in this our party that is an alien. Once you come to the party and you are accepted into the party and you have membership of the party, you are not an alien.
In fact, he makes the point, since you bring up the bit about being an alien, that Dr. Bawumia's selection was based on his reputation as an economic expert. Whiz. But he argues that this promise has not been fulfilled, and then he also laments the erosion of the NPP's core values. But even before I get there, he then makes mention of the fact that, according to what he recalls, Dr. Bawumia was chosen as President Akufo-Addo's running mate in 2008. At the time, he wasn't even a party member, a decision that faced resistance from many. And it's interesting because he says, including former President Kufuor, who in recent times has been, on stage talking about why Ghanaians should vote for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. How do you react to that?
How should I react to an individual who is embittered clearly? And
who is what?
Embittered clearly.
Embittered?
Yes, clearly. And seated on the side and making comment that he cannot even substantiate. Kufuor is speaking for himself. Why are you speaking for him?
So he's like outside throwing stones.
Clearly. Kufuor, you are referencing
party
Kufuor.
hall.
But Kufuor is already, today, Kufuor is actually giving us records and history of who Dr. Bawumia is and the impression he has of him. And you are here speaking for Kufuor. When Kufuor is still alive. If Kufuor wasn't alive and you are saying this, somebody would have taken you seriously. But Kufuor is alive. Kufuor is the #1 advocate for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and tracing as far back as 2003. How can you refer to somebody that has been part of this party since 2003? When did he become part of the party? Was it not in Germany? When did he join the government and the NPP? Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has been part of this party, working with this party and its government since 2003. Is an alien. 21 years. How many years is the NPP?
Was Dr. Bawumia...
How many years is the NPP? That somebody has been part of the NPP for 21 years is an alien. How many years is the NPP?
Just a quick question. When he was selected in 2008 as running mate, was he a member of the party?
Yes. You cannot be selected to be a running mate of the party if you are not a member of the party. What does it take to be a member of the party? What does it take to be a member of the party? Can you respond to that? What does it take to be a member of the party?
It's your party.
You come to the party and say, I want to be a member of the party, and I give you membership. So what does it take to be a member of the party? Let me tell you something interesting. You think that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia wasn't a member of the party, but as of 2003, was working with President Kufuor in government. It doesn't even make sense. The contradiction. President Kufuor says that what
specific work are you referring to?
He was working as a technical assistant to Dr. Polakwa in 2003, and then eventually elevated as a deputy governor of Bank of Ghana. So President Kufuor appointed a non-MPP as a deputy governor of Bank of Ghana.
Oh, wait. Did you just say that?
Yes, I'm just asking. He appointed a non-MPP person. You can confirm yes or no. As a deputy governor of Bank of Ghana.
So you're saying that appointments to the Bank of Ghana are political?
Why not? If I can find somebody that can lead Bank of Ghana that's aligned with the principles and ideals of the New Patriotic Party, you think I'll go and appoint an NDC person? Why should I do that?
Oh, I see.
No, why?
Some things make a lot of sense now. I remember, is it Dr. Wampa or so? I now remember.
Was it?
And
why should I do that? Why? If you're my president and you can find somebody that can do it and believes in ideals and principles and the philosophies of our party and go and appoint another party person, I'll have issues with you. Unless there's nobody in our party.
Don't you think, looking at the central bank, and in fact, how some people say it's been bastardized by politics and all of that, shouldn't we allow the technocrats, the technical people, to do their work regardless of this NDC, MPP?
What are you talking about? But why? You don't have technical people in MPP and NDC. You don't have technical people in MPP and NDC. Is that the point you're saying?
So do we have to politicize it to the point
Not politicize. I am saying that...
Hold for me, Dennis. When you're speaking, I allow you to speak.
No, but you truncated me.
Okay, my apologies. if there is a particular administration, do you necessarily, because I've seen, and that's why I'm referring to Dr. Wampa, where people feel, this administration is in power, certain things are happening, so you know what, I resign. Can we not have a system? Like in some other jurisdictions, it's not political. The Fed in the United States, it's not necessarily political. It's not.
Wait, let me.
The leadership of it has nothing to do with it, and that's why Trump was fighting in the past with these.
If you go into those same...
Why can't we have that in Ghana?
If you go into those same jurisdictions, they vote to elect their sheriffs and their police heads. They vote on party lines to select those people. How about that? If you go into that same jurisdiction, they vote to select their district police commanders and their metro police commanders. How about that? Do we vote to select district police commanders in Ghana? So don't do that kind of comparison. I am saying that if
the analogy does not mean that everything is strictly the same.
Would you let me say?
No, I'm just saying that the analogy does not mean that everything is not strictly the same.
No, you gave me that reference. I'm giving you another example. I'm telling you that. See, the head of Fed. Haven't you heard Trump telling him that leave before?
Have you heard his response?
He's going to leave.
He's not going to leave.
He won't.
Have you seen the law? Have you seen the law backing what he does?
You see, you are truncating me.
No, I'm not truncating you. You've made a solid point. I'm telling you, it's not true. What you're saying is not true.
I'm telling you that. Listen.
It is not.
Listen. The fact that there's
what you're saying is not true.
Can I speak?
Go ahead.
The fact that there is NDC NPP doesn't mean that there are no technical people in NDC NPP. What do you mean by technical people? Professor Frimpong Manso, was he not a technical person?
Frimpong
Boateng, a renowned heart surgeon. So the fact that he's appointed into government makes him non-technical. Or Professor Frimpong Manso, that is renowned heart surgeon, can no longer be appointed into government because he's MPP.
Just stick to Boateng for me, because there's a professor. I don't want the other prof to come and have his views with us.
Inclination.
But
you get the point.
But the point, no, I get your point.
The point I'm making is that there is, in fact, it is rather a sin if you can find an equally competent technical person that believes in your vision and not put that person and put somebody else there.
Okay.
It's a sin.
Are you done with your point?
Yes.
Is it possible to yes, you can have technical people. In each of your parties, you would have people who are technically, you could fit into many roles in terms of our governance, including the central bank. Is it possible, though, to wean ourselves over time so that we don't necessarily have political appointments? There are people who are there just like we have career diplomats, and they are there doing their work. We leave them to do their work, regardless of which administration is in power.
When you go and vote, you vote for the president. President is responsible to lead the people to progress. If he doesn't deliver, sack him, vote against him. Let the president appoint people into positions like that, so that these people are people who will be responsible to what his ideals and principles are and the vision he has for the country. If they fail, he's the one that has failed. Vote against him. I disagree with you completely. In fact,
it also makes them subservient to him.
There's no country that run entirely that way. Not even a single country. There's not a single country that run entirely that way. That's why I gave you examples. There are some that we don't do politically. There are others that they do politically. And so every country and which ones they think are quite crucial. But I disagree with you. Governance cannot be run that way. When you vote for a president, the president should be responsible for running the affairs of the country. Allow that president to make those critical decisions as to the human resources he'll be working with. And let him deliver. If he doesn't deliver, fire him.
Okay.
It's like saying that when I come to multimedia, even though the CEO is there, the CEO doesn't decide who is the cameraman, who is the HR, who is the finance. And that he comes to meet them, there's nothing he can do about that. How is he going to grow multimedia?
All right. In about a minute, we have to go, but I just want to sneak in this bit. So what are the core values of the NPP? Just before I make this final point that Professor Frimpong brought up. What are the core values?
We believe that everybody should be allowed to thrive and do work and earn from it in freedom.
Okay.
That's our core belief, that everybody, every citizen should have that freedom to work and earn for himself and help towards the development and progress of the country. So we say development in freedom.
Okay.
That's fundamental to everything we do.
All right. He laments the erosion of the NPP's core values, stating, I quote, "The NPP I knew was a party that upheld the rule of law, good governance and separation of powers. It was a party that believed it belonged to the people, not a select few." Just your quick reaction on that, and we are done.
I've told you that Professor Frimpong clearly, it's public knowledge that he's embittered. So for me, I don't think...
So because he's embittered, he can't think through the issues
if you're embittered, when he was part of it, did you hear him say these things? When he was part, when he was...
he submitted a report on Galamsey that never saw the light until 2 years later.
Yes, that time when he was in office, did you hear him say these things? Why didn't he say these things when he was part?
Some of those reports were when he was still in power.
But did you hear him talk about it? Why did he speak of them when he was out?
Okay.
I mean, sometimes we should also give ourselves that room to think.
But in his being embittered, is it possible that he will say something that the party
for example, the things that
use?
he said, they are false. Like the things he spoke about President Kufuor not being happy with it. So they are all false. Kufuor is still alive. So there are several things. The party still belongs to the people. The people are the ones taking decisions. So clearly he's not thinking objectively.
But then it's the bit about it being false with Kufuor. You would know, but Prof wouldn't know, right?
But Kufuor has spoken. I'm not the one knowing. He has spoken.
Okay.
He's spoken on tape, on video. It was played on your TV channel.
All right. Dennis, always good having you. Thanks for coming.
Good to see you, man.
Dennis.
Baumia on Saturday. Or you voted already? I hope you voted for Dr. Baumia. If you didn't vote for him, it is a sin.
This is a very interesting... All right. Dennis Miracles Aboagye.
You don't have indelible ink, so you have to vote.
Thank you for joining the conversation this morning. He speaks for the Baumia campaign. He just joined us in the studio for this all-important conversation. Do stick and stay. When we return, there's more action on the AM show. We'll be right back.
Many thanks for staying with us. This is still the AM show. And right before we get into our next belt of conversation, I want to remind you Ghanaians to get ready for the biggest giveaway from Syntex Tank. Syntex is giving 15 communities free water. And this is just to say thank you, Ghana, for making us the #1. Syntex was the first to introduce double-layer tanks in Ghana. Do you know that Syntex also comes in so many colors and was the first to come out with inner white layer tanks? So when it's not Syntex, forget about it. Now, if you're a community and you want to benefit from the Syntex free water giveaway. Just log on to their social media handles, via Syntex Ghana, and nominate your community. The more you nominate, the better chances you have of Syntex coming to your community. And remember, it's SINTEX, Syntex tank. Not be any tank be tanko. The correct tank be Syntex tank. Syntex tank, a strong, a tough. Now this morning, let's focus on the Ghana Mining Industry Awards. It's an annual celebration recognizing remarkable achievements in Ghana's mining sector. And the 10th award happened on November 22nd at the Kempinski Hotel Gold Coast, Accra here. And in the studio with me this morning is the mining personality of the year. He's also a mining engineer with over 20 years of experience and currently the managing director of Anglo Gold Ashanti Obuasi Mine. And in the studio with me this morning is Samuel Boakye Pobi. Mr. Pobi, welcome to the program.
Good morning, sweetie, and good morning to your cherished listeners as well.
Rich background, over 20 years in both open pits and underground mining. So now that you've been adjudged the mining personality of the year, what does this recognition mean to you?
Thanks, sweetie. And I think I would like to thank my Lord Jesus Christ for what he's done and the protection that he's given me this far, and more especially to the adjudicating board for seeing the work that has been done, especially to me recognizing this particular effort is an indication of what inspired leadership means, and the fact that it's a clear case of how people respond to inspired leadership. And I think this award actually is for the people of Idraprim, the employees there. And it's not too far-fetched when I finally heard that, or in the same sort of event, Idraprim turned out to be the mining company of the year. It's a testament of the hard work that the team has done and how
headed by you.
Headed, obviously.
Yeah.
And the hard work that they put into the vision that we embarked on. And more especially, I think this is a clear indication of dedicated leadership, teamwork, and, hard work as well.
Okay. In terms of inspiration, I mean, this is a profile interview, so we want to understand who you are. In terms of inspiration, can you give us a brief background, your journey, how it's evolved over the years, and what key moments that, inspired you to be the trailblazer you are right now in the mining sector?
Look, I mean, I've always loved maths, and I think my strength was always in the STEM, especially maths. So mining engineering was not necessarily what I wanted to do. It just came about when I had a chat with friends, and I realized that it involved calculation, and I thought, let me give it a try. So coming into the mining industry, I think was the best decision that I've ever made. Maybe it was ordained as well. So it's been a very successful journey for me, if I'm to say that. I started, after School of Mines, I went to University of Mines and Technology, did mining engineering. And from there, I worked in Ghana for Goldfields Ghana Limited. And in Idraprim, I started actually my national service in Bogoso, worked in Idraprim with a contractor, moved to Goldfields Ghana Limited as a mining engineer. And after working in Ghana for 5 years, I went overseas to Australia. So I've been in Australia for the past 15 years, worked with BHP Billiton, which is arguably the biggest mining company in the world. And from BHP, I joined Barrick Gold, worked in Tanzania for almost close to 6 years as well. And then from Tanzania, I went back to Perth, that's Australia, to work for Resolute. And then I think 2021, Anglo Gold Ashanti spoke to me about coming back to Ghana to come and head the Idraprim team. And I might say that it's been an interesting journey. I've received all the support from regulators, Minerals Commission, right, EPA, and so forth and so on. That this particular award actually is a testament of how all these people have supported us.
Which means to those who know you, it comes as no surprise that you're now being recognized as a mining personality of the year, although you've done so many things before. Which brings me to my next point. Can you share some of the contributions you have made and how it's impacted the mining industry as a country as a whole, and where we sit in terms of mining on a larger scale in the world?
Yep. So, I mean, a Draprim journey, if I reflect 3 years from now, it's a clear case of what can be done. Okay. I remember when I came to Draprim, the mine was struggling. We formed a vision together that we called the Impumtupa program. And under the Impumtupa program,
I'm curious, what's Impumtupa?
Impumtupa actually means good progress.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. Good progress, if I'm to translate it literally. It means good progress. And it has 4 to 5 strategic imperatives. People, focusing on people, sustainability, safety, production, which is business, and then the long-term focus of the Draprim mine. And every one of them, we had key milestones that we wanted to achieve. And it's not so surprising to me that 3 years down the line, we've seen some of this interesting journey. So 2021, as I said, was a struggling year. We came to 2022, it was a work in progress. 2023 was a solid year. And again, our focus was on people because, I mean, if you get the right people and you inspire them and give them the right training and empowerment, they would deliver. Okay. And I also believe in the community that we worked in. How do we actually make Anglo-Gold Ashanti the preferred choice of our communities?
Right.
We don't want them to feel like they have to live with us, but we want to place ourselves in a situation where they will actually be saying they want us to stay,
right,
and do everything to support us. So the sustainability part was a key lever for us to make sure that we become the preferred mining company for all our stakeholders.
Okay.
And that was the journey that we embarked on. And if I'm to zoom in into the sustainability part, we've done a fair bit of them. A Draprim mine, when we were able to implement and construct the best resettlement project in the country.
Okay.
It's become the standard for most mining companies to follow now, and regulators are using that as the benchmark.
Okay. It means that you've been a leader for most parts of your career, and you've been able to transform, should I say, not mines or industries, companies that are not doing so well into booming ones. Would you say then that, let me start from here. At the heart of so many issues that we have in the country, they would argue that it's a leadership problem. We cannot have this conversation without talking about galamsey, because it's a canker eating at the very fiber of our country here in the country. Would you say it's a leadership problem, and how do we stem the tide?
I think, look, I would probably say it's a combination of both, and where we are. Okay, I think it's a journey that we have to go. Otherwise, we won't learn from the past.
Right.
Okay, so we might put it on a leadership and so forth and so on, but I think it's a journey. You will have to learn from some of this, and many countries have gone through this.
Okay.
So, but I think this actually tells us that this is not the way we should go, and that learning in itself is important, because you don't want to go 10 years down the line or 20 years down the line and come back learning this. So we've learned our lessons, and I know that leadership is up and doing to make sure that this is transformed. And that's the sort of thing we need to go. We've learned from it, and we need to move on.
Right.
So
I hope we have really learned from it. So now, in terms of environmental stewardship and sustainability, which you tackled on when we were talking, how has Anglo-Gold Ashanti, you can add in Draprim as well, because that's where you were, how have they integrated these principles into its operations?
One of our purpose, Anglo-Gold Ashanti, is to empower people and advance societies. So anything that sort of talks to advancing society and environment is key. I mean, if I come into your house and look at your environment, it's an indication of the type of person you are.
Yeah.
So as a business, we focus a lot on that, around housekeeping. How do we impact the environment in which we operate? How do we influence policies to ensure that these things are well done?
Right.
And we're not doing it for regulatory purposes only. it is the right thing to be done. And that's how I see it, that in terms of our environmental stewardship, we got to be the best. We need to leave the environment in a better form than what we met it. Okay? And the same thing with sustainability as well. I see that a lot has been done by the chamber under the leadership of my good friend Suleiman Koni. But I still think there's a lot of improvement that we can bring to bear in terms of how do we, the mining industry needs to, the communities in which we operate should feel our presence, okay? And until we do that, people won't see the impact of the mining industry.
Right.
So we need to have we need to be able to be at the table, influence policy, partner with governments to be able to deliver what will be more sustainable, such that 10 years, 20 years down the line, when we are not there, the communities will be sustainable, self-sustainable, and can be able to survive after the mining companies are no longer.
Which brings me to my last bit. What would be your advice to young people or people, I mean, of all ages who are aspiring leaders in the mining sector? What would be maybe the 3 key points or lessons that you've learned with over your 20 years career that you can share with them? Just 3 points, and then we're done.
Well, the first thing for me is discipline. You know, you got to be disciplined in everything that you do, and you need to strive for excellence. You know, and excellence is a virtue that everyone should have. If you go to a place that you've been there for 3, 4, 5 years and you've not made an impact, you've never led, you just managed. Okay, so we need to strive for that. And life is not a rush. I don't think it's, you know, I started with a lot of colleagues, and everyone will end up in a different sphere of influence. And therefore, young guys, you understand that just stick to what you want to do, believe in yourself, read more, understand the times and seasons that we are in. We are in a technological age, and therefore be thinking ahead. Yeah. How do I use the modern technology to drive my career, to make an impact in the industry? I see that in the next 5, 10 years to come, if you are not really good in ICT, in other words, AI, you will run out of
course,
you will not be in the you will not be in the industry.
Industrial revolution. So of course, absolutely, and a very important point. But this is the Mining Personality of the Year, Mr. Samuel Boakye Pobi. Thank you so much for joining us. He is the former Managing Director of Anglo Gold Ashanti Duapre Mine, and currently the Managing Director of Anglo Gold Ashanti Obuasi Mine. Thank you so much, and congratulations on your award.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Right, you want to stay with us? There's still so much coming your way on the AM show. You get to have your say. We'll open the phone lines, and then you can talk to us on everything that's on your mind in terms of the elections, the special voting that ended yesterday. We'll be right back. Let's hear you out now. This is the Have Your Say segment on the AM show, and we're excited to pick your calls and listen to you, especially on the special voting that ended yesterday. What were some of the issues that came to your attention? Ben?
Well, that and myriad other matters. We're heading towards D-Day, Saturday the 7th. What is on your mind? Based on what are you going to the polls? If you followed my discussion this morning with Dennis Miracles Aboagye, you can also share your thoughts, the claims that were made. Basically, let's talk about Ghana and what your thinking is on happenings here, especially ahead of election 2024. You know the number to call, 0302-211-691. 0302-211-691. There's something that slipped my mind when, in the midst of everything, there was one little thing that slipped my mind to ask Dennis. You know, he said that the ballot papers he posted were samples, right? It skipped my mind to ask him, since he said everything was kosher, that if they were samples, why did he delete the post. It was just a curiosity. You know, sometimes there's so much going through your mind, and it skipped my mind to ask that. But we have a caller on the line. Yes. Clement, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Benjamin.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing good.
And how is Takwa today?
Yeah. I want to share my thoughts on what happened yesterday.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. You see, Benjamin, this is a special voting. And Saturday is going to be the general wonder. A number of people are going to vote, exercise their franchise. Listen, even those who are going to protect us, they are taking something to vote. What of those who are not working and those who are, the old age and the other people? Mr. Benjamin, let's be sincere to ourselves. Yesterday, what happened? Something is, telling me that on Saturday, if not by the grace of God, Charlie, something is going to happen.
Well, we pray nothing happens.
Very dangerous for us. If not, what happened yesterday was no good at all. As a politician, as an MP, sharing something. Oh, Ghana, we've passed this place, but it baffles my mind. It baffles my mind. Thank you.
Thank you, Clement.
Clement from Takwa there. Yeah. Honestly, I feel, look, whether lose or win, politics should have, it's always been said that politics is not dirty. It is those who practice it in, people say politics is a dirty game. Politics is not dirty. It is those who practice the politics, depending on where, who make it dirty. Because some of the things we see here, you wouldn't find in other jurisdictions. You ask yourself, why? Are they more human than we are? You get it. Why? What does it take when you know that this is not right and you still go ahead and want to do it? And you see, John Dumelo in Ayawaso West Wuogon was saying that, look, why do they think we can't do same or even worse? But we have another caller.
Hi, good morning. You're on the AM show. Have your say. Tell us your name and have your say.
Good morning. My name is Razak calling from Accra.
Okay. What's up?
Yeah. Yesterday was just the beginning of...
Your voice is a little muffled.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, better.
It's better now, thank you. I said yesterday was just the beginning of what is going to happen on Saturday. And here we have people that are supposed to protect on Saturday, the main exercise, allow themselves to be given, food. What is food that these people cannot afford? And the best thing they should have done was to reject it and then call those people out. And you saw an MP who was seen in video. Anybody who watched the video will identify Lydia Serem Alassane that is the MP for Ayawaso Central. And they were saying that, I wasn't close to the place. Who are you deceiving? But the most important thing is that we expect the special prosecutor to do a thorough job and then prosecute her for that, because we cannot try to say that we are investigating and nothing is heard about it. No, we won't investigate. But the most important thing I point out to make is that Saturday is the D-Day. The day that for the past 8 years, Ghanaians who live in Ghana, we have seen what this government can do. The suffering that they subjected us to this 8 years is enough. They should go. We are voting for change. I know, as somebody speaking from Bolka, I can confidently say that John Dramani Mahama is winning all the seats in Upper East region and across.
All right.
Ghanaians join us. Let's vote for change.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We also have Peter from Tamale. Peter, what's on your mind this morning?
Peter, good morning.
Good morning,
Peter. Have your say.
You see, the issue is that until we are being truthful with that situation, this particular thing will continue to persist. the IGP and the police are the responsible why we are seeing all of these things. Because if one person infringes the law and that person is dealt with, another person does it, and the person is dealt with, there will not be third person. You see, in the developed communities, laws work, and it's the reason why anybody who commits a crime, within 24 hours, the person is fished out, and the law is dealt with the person.
Are you sure it's within 24 hours all the time in the developed countries? Sometimes it takes years, but I mean, go on with your point.
No, I'm talking about responsibility. Here, people do these things and go scot-free. And when that is done, another person will repeat it. But if somebody does it and the person is brought to book, the second person will not repeat it. So the problem is the police and the leaders of the police. Until we look at them in the face and tell them the reality, this particular problem will continue to persist, and there will never be peace in this country. Thank you.
Thank you. Hopefully there will be peace in this country. We have another caller. Tell us your name and share your thoughts with us this morning. That's not a good sound to hear. Do we have our next call online? But Benjamin, two things for me, really. Except Lydia is saying that whoever we saw in those videos is her doppelganger. I do not see how she can deny participating in that crime like we saw. If I didn't see the video, I wouldn't be talking about it. I saw a video, SSLO, with the Member of Parliament and Minister for Sanitation sharing packs of food. And then later, she says she doesn't know what she's talking about. You say politics is not dirty, Benjamin? We have our next caller.
That is where it
line.
becomes a bit interesting.
Hi, good morning. What's your name? And do have your say.
Yeah, my name is Dennis, calling from Water Region.
Okay, hi, Benji.
Okay, morning, Yakata.
Oh, morning, to. Lucky.
Yakata, me from you.
Akpena mau. Awa mi nyaji.
Okay. I'm very worried about what happened yesterday concerning the special voting. And then I wanted to ask, what measures or what the IGP was doing about what happened during the special voting, the police officer taking a picture of, though we all know that your vote is secret. But I wanted to ask, during all those things, what did the IGP do about that? For us, for we the citizens to know before the Saturday for general election to come. I want to know something about that. Because if they are saying that they are the security for this, all those things that are happening there, they will take in charge of all those things. But police officer do all sorts of those things that IGP is not taking anything of. You want to hear something from that. You the city, you want to hear something from that. Thank you very much.
I understand your concern that you want to hear from the IGP, but you should also know that the police made that arrest. The person who was attempting to take a picture, he was arrested. Also, Office of the Special Prosecutor dispatched some investigators who were asking questions and all that. So I believe the situation is under investigation, and hopefully they can share whatever insights from that with us. Benjamin Akakpo, something that comes to mind. You know, some of the demands that the NDC were making was that all relevant stakeholders, the IGP, the EC chairperson, and some other people signed the peace pacts. But what we saw was them making speeches, commitments, without actually signing. Does that make you wonder why?
I think the political parties have a higher stake, higher burden. But the other institutions also, especially the Electoral Commission and the NDC was talking about the IGP, the Attorney General, among others.
Yeah,
I think by and large, we should get to the point where all of these people, irrespective of their roles, also put pen to paper on these things for our peace to be safeguarded.
Right.
But we have a call on the line. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Your name, where you're calling from, please.
The name is Iko Fori, calling from Adentan.
What are your thoughts for us, Mr. Fori?
Well, mine is all about intimidation on the day of the elections. Yeah, I think we should all have some conscientious effort where anybody walking to and from the polling stations feel comfortable and not intimidated. We know what happens. On the road to the polling station, we should have security men or safety officers all along. Not wait only at the polling station itself where we think, we take care of the queue, So the route to the place should be secured where all sort of illegal vote buying, all those sort of stuff shouldn't happen. So I will call on the press to try and put people away, 50 or 100 meters away from the police station to watch out for such discrepancies or disturbances. That's my
Did you say the press? You want the press to do that?
When we leave it to the assigned bodies, they themselves have their own, way of covering themselves up. But the press should be able to expose those things. And again, for that matter, talking about the press, I'll say safety officers, because every citizen is a safety officer. Every citizen is a security officer. So every citizen should also, make it a point to help out in such situations. Luckily, we have phones that have cameras around, smartphones now.
Right.
So the route to the police station should be a safe area to avoid intimidation.
Thank you very much for sharing those thoughts with us this morning. But the security services are there for a reason, and we simply expect them to do their work. We shall expose what we will. I mean, I understand where you're coming from. For example, if yesterday our cameras hadn't been there and captured the Member of Parliament for Ayawaso West Wuogon, she would have said she hadn't engaged in anything, but we have her on tape. But by and large, it's up to the security services, especially the police, to do what is needed to ensure that, the right things are done. We have another caller from up north. Hello, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Benjamin.
Yes, sir.
My name is Abubakar Nuruddin.
Abubakar Nuruddin. Where are you calling from?
Northern Region, Tolon constituency.
Tolon. What are your thoughts for us?
I'm surprised what we're seeing yesterday. Those who have to protect us not to do the wrong things, they themselves doing the wrong things. Where are we expecting in the Saturday? When we come to the vote buying, Mr. Benjamin, come here from constituencies and see what our MP, Honorable Habib, come and see what he's doing. He's sharing maize, rice, Maggi, and so many things. Why didn't he give it to us 3 years before? Why now? Why now?
Okay.
You say you are doing better. Let us choose. Whether you are doing your work or not, let us choose. Why are you now giving us money, sharing money? Come and see Tolam. He packed everything there. Come and see the item that he put in the constituency party office.
You can take pictures and videos and share with us.
Yeah, to share with her. Why? Why now? Well, I'm appealing to the people of Town. We are not fools. We know how we are suffering. More than half of the constituency, we are suffering about the water crisis. He done nothing about it. Now you are coming sharing money for us. Our roads are bad. Everything is not going well for us. Now that you know that we are eating. Why? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts there.
We are missing out. We're not missing out on the bit about disenfranchisement as well. There were at least 9 people who could not cast their votes yesterday.
Yeah.
I don't know how that will be resolved, especially because if you register for special voting and you're unable to vote, I don't know if the EC's made arrangement to transfer that vote to the
point is
that's it. You cannot vote.
If you are registered for special voting, you can't vote on December the 7th. But the other bit too is that they said that if if their names were not there, it means they hadn't gone through the right processes. So they were not registered. So it means they would have to vote on. They would have to vote on December the 7th.
Let's see. I understand we have another caller. Hi, good morning. What's your name and what's on your mind?
This is Rahman from Baku Town.
Okay.
Baku Upper.
Hi. What's on your mind?
I said, my name is Rahman.
Yes, Rahman. What's on your mind?
Yeah, I want the issue about the voting of issue about the Baku oath.
Okay.
About the conflict. Nobody's minding us of anything. Whatever you do, nobody government can mention about the Baku issues. You people set the mind of the Baku issues. This morning, you're shooting of guns. How I want to vote on December 7th. That's my issue.
So you're worried about voting. I believe yesterday special voting went on, right?
Yes, but now this morning, a gun shot is part of Baku Town. Every day, part of the outskirts. The people play gun shot of outskirts. The town can't do anything. Some people travel, can't travel, you can't do anything. But you're playing the gun, but you focus about Baku issues. And let's see the Baku, if ever to do the one of us.
Rahman, thank you for sharing your thoughts with us. We are grateful for your time. And of course, we're hoping that our brothers and sisters in Baku will not be disenfranchised and that they will be allowed to vote. Not just, the processes will go on, but the security detail is needed so that they can vote in peace and not be scared about going to cast their ballot. Well, I believe this is where we're going to draw the curtains, unless we have a caller on the line, but if we don't...
No, I have a dedication.
We'll have to draw the curtains on the show here. Okay. It's been another interesting one, and for me, the standout is Dennis Miracles Aboagye saying that those were... Sample ballots, and I don't know why he deleted them. So, right before we go, if you're going to vote on December the 7th, don't vote this way, vote that way on the sheet so that you don't, end up. Vote this way, not that way, this way. When you're done, clean the thumb. Fold it, in a straight line, not flip. Hold it, fold it this way, and then go and put it in the ballot box. When you go there, you have no business giving food or drink or taking food and drink. That's not your business there. Your business is go vote. Don't bring a stone, come and put it in the queue. Don't create anything that will bring confusion. Just do your best as a citizen. As we talk about peace, 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 you are a part of it. I am a part of it. So let's play our parts and let, peace prevail. That's
also, remember not to wear party colors to the polling stations. Don't wear NDC T-shirts or NPP T-shirts. That's where all the trouble starts most of the times. Wear your regular shirts, go and cast your ballots and go home. Let me also send out this dedication going out to Divine's better half, Patricia Manka in Germany. Both families here in Ghana are wishing you a belated, blessed birthday filled with fun and goodness of God. Happy birthday, Patricia Manka in Germany. Your family say they love you.
And my birthday wish goes to Very Reverend Father Nicholas Lassie. Today is your birthday. Happy, happy birthday to you, Father. And keep being the wonderful person you are. Reverend Father Nicholas Lassie. And that's how we're going to cap it off this morning.
I need to wish myself a happy birthday in advance. My birthday is on the 25th of December. Benjamin Akakpo, you have to wish me happy birthday on the day. Thank you, guys.
25th of December. You're wishing yourself.
I'm a Christmas baby. That's our show for today, folks. Thank you so much for staying with us. You want to stay for Joy News Desk coming up after us, but it's always a pleasure that we do this. I'm Sweetie Abochi.
My name is Benjamin Akakpo. Thank you for watching.